Afternoon and welcome everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. Good Monday, one and all. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online. ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you can go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. If you do, you can get caught up because we'll post all 3 hours to iTunes and our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the show. If you want to email, feel free, fire away. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. We're on YouTube today, as usual. Daniel stepping it up, filling in, directing. Let's hope he doesn't suck. Hello, YouTubers.
You might hear a laugh track in the background. Yeah. He's the guy you want to bring if you ever have to do a set, like for a charity comedy set.
I've done a couple. None in a long time.
You want him there because he'll get the crowd
going.
That's my
man.
Yes, he's an energizer.
Yeah. On Periscope, you can follow at 979 ESPN Radio, and there you go. You can watch us that way as well. And, so we're caught up. Man, I guess I should get it out of the way, right? That was worthy of one. Choo-choo! Florida State wins again. That is 5 straight in the ACC, and as I'm wont to do, I like to point out that you don't just roll on into the TLC Double C and expect to walk out of there with a victory. Nay, Louisville, as Florida State goes to 6-4 now in the conference, 18-5 overall, as I mentioned 5 straight wins in the conference. The RPI up to 18. The net, which is new this year, up to 25. Interesting look at the ACC right now. I'll get to the essence of that game and the crux of the win there momentarily. But first, let's note it's have and have-nots in the ACC when you're looking at net or you're looking at RPI or you're looking at the teams that clearly look like they are tournament-bound and then those that at the very least have major work to do. And I guess you would cut that list off there with Clemson, who's now won 4 straight and playing more like the team that we thought they'd be before the season began. Of course, they went on a great run last year as well and had most of their team coming back, and everybody thought, okay, well, Clemson and Florida State, sort of your non-traditional powers in the ACC, at least when it comes to basketball, should be good again next year. And then Clemson got off to a poor start. And in conference play, so did Florida State. And now both those two teams are the hottest two that aren't at the top of the conference, in the conference. Obviously, Carolina and Duke have won 7 straight, but they're never in question. So as far as everybody else goes, it's us and Clemson on the hot streak right now. As for Florida State, you can play the what-if game when you get going like this, when you start having fun, because you really think back to what sent the Noles spiraling a little bit there, which was the heart-wrenching, rip-from-your-chest the heart loss to Duke. And once that happened, of course, we went on to lose again and again. Some of that might have been leftover heartbreak, the age-old saying going, don't let the same team beat you twice. I think it kind of happened, that with a quick turnaround spelled doom on the road against Pitt. The BC game, you're up big, and then you let it slip away. I think you failed to step on the neck there in the second half, and the next thing you know, a kid just decides, I'm going to hit everything I throw at the rim, and momentum got ripped away, and Florida State didn't have the legs to respond and lost that game too. But once Florida State started getting healthier, got its legs, also emotionally kind of checked itself, I think you've seen now Leonard has done a really good job of figuring out and parsing the minutes and understanding who's what from a role standpoint. We got hot. And from that point forward now you see a team that rightfully is in the top 20 in both polls and a team that really nobody wants to play. And if this is a squad that is going to continue to get healthier, that is to say Terrence Mann is now the guy we have seen over the last 4 games, and there are no remnants of that heel injury, and it doesn't appear that there is. And you're going to continue to get Phil Kofer healthier and healthier. Again, Trent Forrest has had to be relegated more to an assist guy than a scorer because of the ongoing toe injury, but even he's adjusting really nicely to that role. He's turning it over less per possession than he was during the losing streak. He's certainly
he's stealing
gathered
the
himself.
Basketball for you too.
Yeah, he is stealing. He's got great hands. We know that, and that hasn't gone anywhere just because of the toe injury. So by and large, you're watching the Stars get more minutes. We've talked about this. They've got to. Hamilton talked about it after the game, but the Stars are getting more minutes. And, on that point, though, we have such a distinct advantage with the depth of experience and talent on this team over many others that we face, that even though I may be in the corner and lobbying for more Kabengele all the time, and he played a ton of minutes, that in truth, it's great to get guys rested. It's great to have opportunities, especially players that have had to nurse injuries. It's great to get them time on the bench, but the only way that can really happen once you enter conference play is to beat the bejesus out of somebody. And we haven't been able to beat the bejesus out of anybody but Miami, really. And so you're in a position.
Well, and that we did.
Yes, we did. My God, did we. But now we're in a position where Wake Forest comes to town, and they're terrible. And there's just no sugarcoating this. They suck. And if you have the legs and the ability and the focus to get out to a big lead, you could rest some of these guys and spell some minutes here that you've accrued here as of late. And that would be ideal. But in line with what we've been talking about and something that I've rightfully pointed out, whether that's bragging or not, you decide, I've had my finger on the pulse of this team for some time now. Whether it was they were going to go on the road and play well or not, whether or not they were going to shoot well or not, whether or not it was going to be a game like the one we saw on Saturday or not. And something tells me Wednesday is going to be annoying. Something tells me that midway through the second half, we're not going to be in a position to do the resting that I'm referring to of starters, that we're going to have to reinsert them into a game that we thought we had in pocket in order to get the win. And we'll get that win. But it's going to be annoying, and it just seems like that's the kind of – well, that game is ripe for an emotional letdown. And I get it. But it's also annoying because you could use the rest.
Well, you know what, man? It's Monday already, which nobody's happy about. We're coming off of a huge win. It's the opener, and you got to bring us down?
I'm not bringing you down. I'm letting you know exactly what's what. That's what I do, Tom. I let you know what's what. Here's the deal. We're going to win. We're going to keep on winning because we're extremely well coached and very talented, and we continue to win games over ranked teams and surprise people around the country annually these days, and that's a wonderful thing. But it's awfully hard to sustain, and if you don't have a slew of McDonald's All-Americans coming off the bench like you do at Duke, like you do at North Carolina, like you do at Louisville and other places, then sometimes you have a letdown. Sometimes you have games where unfortunately, you don't play as well and don't execute as well as you'd like. And Florida State, while talented, and again, a team that plays extremely hard, by and large plays smart, again, well coached, they're a team that, though, does not have the luxury of having an off night because they don't have just the overwhelming skill to just go ahead and make something happen if they're not executing as a team. And when you've got 4 or 5 blue chippers that are going to go in the first round of the NBA draft, then, maybe then you can have a night where a guy just takes over one-on-one skills, off the bounce, whatever that might be. Florida State doesn't really have that. And so when you're not playing well collectively, and that's one of the things we love about this team, right, is that they have enough guys that if somebody's off, somebody else can pick them up, somebody else can, save the day. But by and large, they do have to win with all of those substitutions, with 9 guys, basically 10 guys. And they do have to play within their scheme. They do have to play off of each other. We know that. And so I worry that we're due for a bit of a letdown, and it would be easy to have happen. Again, I think Florida State's going to win the game. I'm not projecting doom and gloom. I'm not saying, oh, my gosh, here comes the hiccup. I'm just saying, man, I think they're due for an emotional letdown. Now, it will be interesting because if they're able to execute and dominate Wake Forest, who on the road is 0-5, 9-13 overall, a team that is hovering around the 200s in the net rankings, that's a team you should absolutely bitch slap. Now, that said, if they're unable to do that, if they are able to execute to that end, well then, you know what? We see further maturity from a group that I'm already in love with and can't wait to watch them continue on down the road.
Well, I believe, you do have your finger on the pulse of this team. I don't need to believe it because it's just true.
That is just absolutely
But I'm
irrefutable.
basking in the glow of one of the great victories I've ever seen
I'm
at
gonna
the
glow
Tucker
for
Center.
hours. We're going to glow for hours.
And so I don't, I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to ignore the facts. We have our instant focus group, 84% of which said, yes, you are bragging.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. That's the instant poll data
That's
we have
okay,
now at
though,
ESPN.
if it's true.
But I'm going to ignore that fact that you have your finger on the pulse of the team because I am still ecstatic. That game could have gone 3 hours, 4 hours.
It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. What an atmosphere.
I
It came
agree.
to life at the
Yeah.
end. I mean, when Kofor lets go of that shot at the end of regulation, that building is ready to implode. People were ready.
Yeah.
And then you take control of it in overtime.
Oh,
But
boy, do you.
that atmosphere in the beginning, I think there was a feeling out process. Obviously, they
Whoa,
started
they're
out
up
14 to 5.
We didn't play well. There was no feeling
We're
out
playing well.
process. We couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
No, but even when we get to 14-14, the crowd's like, all right, what are we watching here? Was
Yeah,
that a run just so we can get put down again? And then there was this belief, and it was building, and it was building.
Yeah.
And then the crescendo was the steal on the inbounds by MJ Walker.
What a steal.
That's one of my favorite games I've ever been to, so I'm going to focus on that personally today.
Well, I think it's because you really enjoyed the view from the Vista, the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, ESPN Luxury Suite.
Yes, I did.
I, too, enjoyed my view from there as well as a couple of frosty cold ones. But I will tell you that I actually thought the game was largely poorly played for about a half or a little over a half, especially on our end. We couldn't shoot, and I found it rewarding because we overcame the poor shooting. We're a better shooting
Look
team
at our
than
metrics,
that.
look at their metrics, and you go, how the hell did that happen?
Extra possessions because we stole the basketball, and
Yes.
that's a sign that you're playing very hard. You're obviously not giving up. You got a great boost off the bench from the likes of Raekwon Gray. Again, I think that this team is lovable. There's so much about this team that I'm rooting for, and beyond just being a Knoll, this is a likable group, man. They started out 1-4 in conference. They're 6-4. They went on the road and pounded Syracuse. They came back here and overcame a really poor shooting half against a very, very talented Louisville team that's going to cruise into the NCAA tournament. And they did so through heart, hustle, effort, skill, all of those things. And, yeah, man, that was a good atmosphere. The Duke atmosphere was better.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
Yeah, the
I'm
Duke
not-
atmosphere was better.
No, but I didn't know what to expect out of this game. I didn't feel great about it. I'm going to keep picking against us because we keep winning, so I'm not going to mess with that, even if it is Wake. This letdown's going to be massive. It's the biggest letdown you've ever seen. But you look at the box and you see the key numbers.
Yeah, man.
And we forced 23 turnovers.
Yes, we
scored
did.
32 points off of turnovers, and we need basically all of those points to get to overtime.
Yeah, we needed all the extra possessions, that's for sure. But you know what? That's really kind of the hallmark of a good team is they can beat you in a lot of different ways. If you go back and look at us shooting Syracuse out of the zone and forcing them to extend and later pressure,
Yeah.
which leads to layups and dunks. If you go back to the way that we bombarded Miami on the road, and then you go back and look at the way we won this game, you see a difference in the way that they execute in order to come away with a victory on multiple occasions this year. And that's satisfying because in the tournament, now I'm getting ahead of myself here, but in the NCAA tournament, you get matched up oftentimes, especially if you go on a run like we did a year ago, against very different styles. And you need to be able to show that you're versatile enough to handle a different way of playing the game. Georgia Tech plays the game very differently than Syracuse plays the game or Virginia plays the game or Louisville plays the game or the way Duke plays the game. And they uglify games. Maybe that's very similar to the way Miami wants to play it, or Virginia, frankly, wants to play it with more skill. But you know, Louisville has a pack line defense as well, but they're more, I think, athletic certainly and longer and deeper than Virginia, for example.
Right.
Even. And so the way that you find to win this game and to continue to fight back and to knock down key free throws in the second half
And in overtime.
time and again, these are the things that in past years, if the team was incomplete or they had an aspect about them that frustrated our fan base, they were easily found. You could point to this thing and you say, well, yeah, that's great. They're winning some games, but they don't do this well at all. Or this is something they're terrible at, and see, better coach teams do this more consistently than we do. But again, every team has warts. Every team has a weakness. That includes the best teams in the country have something they don't do exceptionally well. It's can you overcome those things? Do you have the wherewithal, the coaching acumen, the ability or depth and talent to be able to overcome those things? And Florida State is showing currently that along with a few others in the conference, obviously, and most of them are blue bloods, yes, the answer is yes, they can overcome those things and get significant wins. And when you look at the whole of their schedule now, look how many significant wins they have. Those numbers are beginning to add up. When you get a win like this one, when you get a win like the one you got over Syracuse, or you go to the non-conference. I mean, Florida State now has a good handful, bare minimum, of really significant wins, committee-type wins, where they look at it afterwards and go, damn, this team's beating a lot of really quality clubs. And so I'm not saying that like we're in danger, but it's nice to have it to fall back on.
Sure.
Because right now, there's no doubt if they somehow collapsed or somehow did have one of those nights, and most teams do. North Carolina nearly lost to Miami over the weekend. Roy Williams teams frequently lose games where you go, what in the world? That was about to be one of them, right? Because that happens in the ACC. Everybody's 5 starters are good enough to beat you on a night where you're not playing well or you're not focused. So say you have one of those kinds of games and we all flip out, or a lot of people do, at least you have these games now in your back pocket that you've won where the committee will say, well, that's more indicative of who they are than there's a little stretch where they played poorly. There's just a lot going on. I'll get into the nuts and bolts of the game here in a moment because it's, to me, as rewarding, and I'll agree with you here, sitting in that arena in the second half of that game, down 10 because Holmes comes in and just starts hitting bombs over and over again, and at that point, I think they got up 10 it was.
Yeah.
At that point, to see them come back.
From the second row.
Yeah, well, yeah, and those weren't accidents. My man was just drilling shot after shot after shot and telling us about it. But to our credit, again, being able to come back after those runs says an awful lot about this team. There's just there's a lot to talk about. And, oh, by the way, I'll end the opening segment with this. Really, I hope we all appreciate what Kabengele is because he's going to play in the NBA next year. And so I really hope.
They've got money. He loves the college experience.
Family has money. Yeah, he is an amazing player.
He can get better. He can get better.
That part is true.
He could be a bona fide lottery pick, top 5 kind of guy.
I thought it was funny. Leonard didn't want to talk about it when we interviewed him on Friday.
No, he ran away from that.
He ran from that question pretty quick. I look forward to coaching him next year and his time
for
here.
10 more years.
Yeah. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Ranges, fire logs, and grills.
Wait, even on grills? I've been shopping around for a new gas grill. I had no idea, and with it getting even darker, I could use some outdoor lighting. It seems the City of Tallahassee's loan program may be the perfect solution.
Well, just be sure and invite me over the next time you grill.
Of course, that's what friends are for.
Take advantage of the City of Tallahassee's loan program and save energy, water, and money. Visit talgov.com to learn more. That's talgov.com for more information.
Honda is kicking off its campaign for great deals at the Honda President's Day sales event. Right now, you can enjoy a monumental offer on any of the 3 candidates, the Accord, Pilot, and Civic sedan. Each stylish vehicle will support your peace of mind with standard Honda sensing, a suite of safety and driver assistive technologies like road departure mitigation system and the collision mitigation braking system. And Honda has been appointed KBB.com's 2018 Best Overall Value brand. So hurry to your local Honda dealer and cast your vote for great deals.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Look around. That's right, you see Nissans everywhere. Tallahassee is officially a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. Why? Because Kraft Nissan has the best pricing, the best selection, and the best buying experience in town. And at Kraft Nissan, you get the best value for your dollar. With more standard features, our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty, our easy choice menu that gives you a price and payment in writing, our new For You program that helps people with damaged credit. And now, till the end of the month, 2 years or 20,000 miles of complimentary maintenance with every new car purchase, plus $1,000 over book value for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They will greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they will know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Kraft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
At Discover, we believe anniversaries should be a time of celebration, not obligation. That's why we think annual fees are ridiculous. And now, just for giving us a try, we're going to give new card members a one-year anniversary gift they'll never forget. At the end of your first year, we'll match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar. No caps and no catches, because we know if you try us, you'll like us. And that's worth every penny. Try it and believe it at discover.com/match. Cashback match offer only for new card members. Limitations apply.
Honda is kicking off its campaign for great deals at the Honda President's Day sales event. Right now, you can enjoy a monumental offer on any of the three candidates, the Accord, Pilot, and Civic sedan. Each stylish vehicle will support your peace of mind with standard Honda sensing, a suite of safety and driver assistive technologies like road departure mitigation system and the collision mitigation braking system. And Honda has been appointed KBB.com's 2018 Best Overall Value brand. So hurry to your local Honda dealer and cast your vote for great deals.
Everybody wants to win the Great American Race.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
2 car lengths out in front, and the pack is steaming down behind him.
The dramatic conclusion of Daytona Speed Weeks.
Kurt Busch spins, and they're all piling in now.
Is the Great American Race.
It's on here at Daytona.
The 61st Daytona 500.
Pull your seatbelts down. It's getting ready to get really crazy.
Sunday at 1:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Daytona 500 on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Brought to you by Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet, 3127 West Tennessee Street. Online at DaleEarnhardtJRChevy.com. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
That overtime, Florida State forcing Louisville into 2 missed threes, 2 desperate threes, and 2 turnovers, and then we on the other end convert on 4 straight possessions. I thought for a moment, Tom, that we might just blow that ass out. We might just blow them out. As they walk off that floor, we could just say, you're not competitive.
You're off to a rip-roaring start on a Monday with the slapping and the other part, yeah.
Hitting 6 of 6 from the free throw line, as you noted in the last segment. At that point, we're up 73-65 with 2:37 left. That's when I thought in my heart, here comes the beatdown. But we leave three-point shooters open in a mad scramble, and they hit both in that buck 28. We're dealing with a 75-71 game. Forrest missed a couple of layup opportunities and then had a foul, and the next thing you know, they hit 1 of 2 free throws, and it's 75-72. Man comes down, answers with a free throw, 76-72, 44 seconds to play. They come in on a three-point play, a really, really, really acrobatic layup, and you got to give them credit for that, and that's with 18 seconds to play. And we end up getting the big rebound on a missed three from them. We get a foul. We convert 2 free throws there. It's 80-75, and that's the final margin. And I remember thinking, well, you know what? At 6-4, it's an ACC winning streak that's at 5 games. It's our second longest winning streak in the ACC in its program's history, behind the 7-game stretch we had in 2011-2012 campaign. So what a nice run. What a good place we're in right now at over the halfway point in conference play. Real nice.
Yeah, you got a chance to flirt with that record, obviously, if you take care of business this week, and it would be advisable to do so if we could get a 2-0 week this time around. I know that we were shocked to do so last week, but when you follow the schedule, Wednesday night, home, Wake Forest, Saturday on the road, Georgia Tech, with going to the Little John, and Clemson's playing good basketball now.
Take it to the Little John.
And then you go to Chapel Hill and play North Carolina. That's not going to end well, I don't think, because we'll have their attention. It's all about North Carolina not caring. They don't care a lot.
Well, and when a team like Miami, I mean,
yes.
those hobos roll into town, you're not going to care.
They look at the tape and they're like, my goodness.
Look at these losers.
Is this from the rafters? These guys look so tiny.
There we go. Look at them. They're not any good at all.
So take advantage of the schedule that's in front of you now, because if you suffer an 0-2 week upcoming, that's not the end of the world. You're still at 8-6 in conference play.
Yeah, let's go through it. Kabengele, the aforementioned NBA star to be, leads Florida State with 22 points on 7 of 12, and 6 of 6 from the free throw line. 7 rebounds, a block shot, 2 steals, 36 minutes off the bench. I like that more and more, no matter how we want to argue this. Kabengele has seen 35, 36, 38. Kumaji, here's your 4.
I like how our big can make shots and free throws. You know, he gets hacked, and you're like, well, that's at least 1 of 2. At least. And I'm a little disappointed if he doesn't make both.
Proud of Terrence Mann, who's played here for 22 seasons, and he adds 20 points on 4 of 6 field goals and 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. You know, anymore, let's just say it, when Terrence Mann pulls up for 3, I yell bottoms. I just lift my arms to the sky knowing that's dropping. I should start doing the thing, right? The thing. I should do it. Just hold up the 3.
That's the 3-point signal.
That's the thing.
That's what that is.
Yeah. I'm going to start doing it.
Among other things.
Anyhow, so
everybody's been telling him to do that for years, though. Teammates like, come on, dude, shoot the ball.
Well, but for years he didn't hit that shot. So
in games, but they said it was especially last season. It was coming
the games
along.
Are what count. All that practice shooting wasn't doing anybody
He'd go
any good.
0 for 1, and he'd say, all right, you know what? Now here comes a pump fake every time I get the ball.
Ugly 0 for 1.
It's wide open, in rhythm. Nope. I'm going to take it back down.
A lot of times it looked like my kid shooting a 3.
Here you go, Trent Forrest.
That's not what we're doing here.
Here's the ball, Trent Forrest. You go.
9 of 11 free throws, 4 boards, and, man, he did play over 40 minutes. I guess that heel is okay. Doing some things.
I thought he'd get some run for ACC Player of the Week. He did not receive the award. He only missed, 3 field goals the entire week?
Pretty good week.
Yeah.
I'd say. Pretty good week. Trent Forrest, he's a warrior, man. That toe injury is such that he's in a lot of pain. Drops 15 points, 5 of 7 from the free throw line, 6 boards, 4 assists, 5 steals. 5. Get you some. Man, I'm going to do it now because I've had to employ Tough Love Cameron on the program for MJ Walker, and it seems to have made all the difference. And so I'm very proud of you, MJ. If I'm gonna break you down on these airwaves, I got to put an arm around you when you're playing well. And for MJ, it's really about his defense. It's all about what we get out of him defensively. And, you know, when Ham joined us on Friday, he talked about how proud he was of MJ Walker. And, you know, I thought he was countering my tough love with a lot of kindness from the big man.
Man, you guys talk about that, good cop, bad cop. You play it very seamlessly.
Well, you know, we played it well there. It was a good interrogation. But Walker is playing the kind of defense that, you know what, even when he's not shooting the ball real well, he was 4 of 11 in this game, so it wasn't terrible. But when he's not shooting real well, he scored 11 points. He is defending and harassing and really doing all of the things that don't always show up in the box score. And I know that's a cliche, but it is true. And also, those were 2 huge free throws in the steal. So, I mean, there you go, young man.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think David Nichols chipped in some big-time minutes for us in the second half, too.
Yes, he did.
Giving Trent Forrest a chance to catch his breath and making some plays. That was good to see. As long as it's not a matchup zone, I think we're going to be okay with David. If he gets good against the matchup zone, then you have a true weapon rather than a role player.
So I'm going to turn my attention, not that he needs it, he's been around a long time, but I've decided that really moving forward, Tough Love Cameron's going to have his sights set on PJ Savoy's useless ass, who continues to do absolutely nothing for us of any kind.
You can almost see the crosshairs.
I mean, my goodness gracious, PJ. I mean, we're closer and closer to the day in which we sit around, have a beer together, and we talk about that great run you had briefly from 2 years ago because you've done nothing since. It is useless.
Jesus.
I'm just saying, a waste of time when he's on the floor. Doesn't guard anybody, can't shoot a lick these days. What are we doing here? So that's an example, just an example.
That is so in character, though. You know what? You really get into that character. It's so believable.
It's almost
Tough
like
Love Cameron is believable.
It's almost like I yell that in the game. Like maybe I've expressed those same thoughts in real time, not as a character, but rather as me. As somebody who's concerned about his presence on the floor.
It's like when Kevin Spacey plays a total creep, and you're like, man, that is just believable. How is he so good at that?
Maybe he is truly like that. Maybe he's that kind of guy, although I don't like being compared to that. I mean,
you're just talking about the craft of just.
Oh, yes, the ability to make it to
been
come
a lot
out.
of artists over the centuries and millennia that are
That's right. Blur the lines.
Checks and balances.
Blur the lines,
It's like,
right.
well, you want this kind of
Man,
greatness.
I'm
you gotta,
all in, man.
gotta
I
let
don't know
me
if
go
I can ever
here.
get out of character here. I could die. It's crazy. All right, so Savoy is,
Rest in peace.
doesn't appear to be along for the ride.
Heath Ledger, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and some others started down that path, entering into a character that they couldn't get out of.
Next thing you know, Tough Love Cameron's going to be at the baseball game, youth baseball game.
That ain't happening. Actually, it's
You can't field a lick.
No, that doesn't happen.
It's okay. It's just tough love. It's okay.
No. That doesn't happen, actually. That you'll never see that from me. But as for Savoy, yes. No doubt. No doubt. I noticed that we've gotten to where the experiment's over with, for now. For now, they've had their time in the sun for Polite and Vassell, who didn't see the floor at all.
We want to see a bunch of them on Wednesday, right?
Oh, God, I hope they extend, like, between Raekwon Gray, Nichols, hell, play Savoy's useless. You might as well go ahead and let him out there and play. I mean, we could have the squad of guys that really don't add much. Kamaji could be out there for a good 14, 18 minutes in this game.
Maybe we start Kabengale for 5 minutes and then let
start
Kamaji finish the
Kabengale
half.
and sit him, and then let Nichols, Kamaji, Savoy, Vassell, and others run this thing.
That would be tremendous if Leonard would start Kabengale for this game.
It would be funny.
Just to say he could start him at the under 16. All right, ride the pine,
How
young
much
man.
would you love that, right? It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Over the weekend in the UK, at least at the country's horse racing tracks, an outbreak of equine flu means the sport remains shut down. Governing body, the British Horse Racing Authority, says there will be no resumption until Wednesday at the earliest, while tests are conducted on thoroughbreds across the country. And that is a Bloomberg Business of Sports report. I'm Michael Barr.
Attention, everyone. I have a President's Day pro tip. You need to go to Dell.com/business deals right now because Dell's President's Day sale is live as we speak, and it's monumental. Get deals on Dell business computers with 8th Gen Intel Core processors and business tech, plus doorbusters up to 45% off. Call 877-BUY-DELL now to talk to Dell's small business technology advisors and get personalized help finding the best tech at President's Day prices. Free shipping included. Again, call 877-BUY-DELL.
Grainger stands for safety, and they know what safety stands for. S, safety. A, all about safety. F, feeling good about safety. E, extreme safety. T, talking about safety. Y, You guessed it, safety. First aid kits, eye wash stations, fire protection, you name it. For over 90 years, they've been helping to keep facilities safe and people safer. When it comes to safety, Grainger's got your BACK. Call or click Grainger.com to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Very no heating and air conditioning, keeping you comfortable is what Barry does best.
You can now quickly and easily schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. This winter, take advantage of great rebates and 0% financing for 36 months. Learn more online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 057652.
Very no heating and air conditioning.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You could do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Honda is kicking off its campaign for great deals at the Honda President's Day sales event. Right now, you can enjoy a monumental offer on any of the three candidates, the Accord, Pilot, and Civic sedan. Each stylish vehicle will support your peace of mind with standard Honda sensing, a suite of safety and driver assistive technologies like road departure mitigation system and the collision mitigation braking system. And Honda has been appointed KBB.com's 2018 Best Overall Value brand. So hurry to your local Honda dealer and cast your vote for great deals.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi with breaking news. The Browns have signed running back Kareem Hunt to a one-year deal, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Hunt was released by the Chiefs in December after a video surfaced showing him shoving and kicking a woman last February. He was not arrested or charged. He's also accused of punching a man last June. ESPN's Dan Graziano reports the discipline process still ongoing regarding Hunt and nowhere near done. He'll be put back on the commissioner's exempt list until the league makes a final decision on discipline. This is an unbelievable second chance for Hunt in Cleveland, in the opinion of ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
He will now play in the NFL 21 minutes away from where he played in high school. He will do so. His rookie contract is not even up yet. He will eventually hit that open market in 2022. He has the chance to now be in his hometown, playing for his hometown team, and eventually getting the payday that he had always dreamt of.
There is a connection between Hunt and Browns GM John Dorsey. Dorsey was with the Chiefs when they drafted him 2 years ago. For Kyler Murray, it's hello football, goodbye baseball. The Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and 2018 first-round pick of the Oakland A's announced on Twitter he's fully committing his life and time to becoming an NFL quarterback. In his latest mock draft, ESPN's Todd McShay has Murray going to the Dolphins 13th overall. NBA scoring leader James Harden tries to run his 30-point streak to 30 straight games when the Rockets welcome Rookie of the Year frontrunner Luka Doncic and the Mavericks tonight. Things do not get any easier for Virginia. 2 days after a loss to number 2 Duke, the 4th-ranked Cavaliers are at number 8 North Carolina, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. The Tar Heels have won 7 straight. They're tied with the Blue Devils for the lead in the ACC. Virginia's third, 1 game back.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Show, not that things would have necessarily gone the same way, but to think if we had beaten Boston College and Pitt, we'd be 20-3 and probably in the top 8. Nevertheless, choo-choo, hashtag a-hole. Yeah, well, and I said at the beginning of the show, had you knocked off Duke.
Hashtag a-hole.
Would you have gone on then to maybe not gone on this losing streak? But really, we don't want to do that because here's what I'll tell you. It had to be that way. Things had to go the way that they did. I think that's true. I think by and large, we arrive at 6-4. However, we arrive at 6-4, and I'm okay with that. And I kind of feel like that was something that would have been needed. I mean, this team responded because of that. I'm with you. I would have liked to have not seen a loss, especially, I don't know why, but I think because we said on the air that Florida State was going to go up and lose to Pitt on short rest and that it just felt like a situation that was unavoidable, that it didn't bother me. Like, I didn't like it, but it felt unavoidable. Well, and I remember watching that game going, yeah.
It's all we could talk about walking out of the building. It wasn't even the great game we had just watched. It's, man, we're going to lose on Monday.
I mean,
That's tough to get on a plane, go up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right away.
Yeah, it was brutal. And so you just kind of knew, well, and that's why I'm always celebrating regular season campaigns, regular season championships, regular season anything, because it's a much greater test of what you are as opposed to a conference tournament, a made-for-money nonsense where the motivations are very different for the clubs involved. And so if you go through the rigors of a regular season with that many conference games, including these quick turnarounds in some cases, and Florida State's had 2 of them where you've had to play a game and then less than 48 hours later play another one on the road, when that happens, you usually do get a performance that's lacking, that's wanting. And so, that's why at the end of the year when I look at that record, I go, okay, you know what? Sure. In a vacuum, Florida State versus Pitt, yeah, Florida State should win that game by 20. But that's not how the schedule plays out. That's not the way it works. And actually, this is a greater test.
Yeah, not when the officials are walking on, needles, just blowing the whistle every step.
Well, they all wanted to buy into the narrative. They couldn't wait to buy into the narrative that Pitt was back. And
that's a block. That's a block.
They were damn sure going to make sure we knew that on that night. Speaking of schedules, I want to move on here from basketball for a second because we'll talk to Irish Chappelle at the top of the hour and we'll get back into basketball. But I will say tonight we're all rewarded 7 o'clock, Virginia at North Carolina. Hey. How about that for Virginia, by the way?
Ooh.
Here's a little Duke followed by some North Carolina. Get you some.
This is your penalty for losing as a 1 seed.
Well, it's your penalty for playing an insufferable brand of basketball that we all loathe. That's what that is. So get you some. Hopefully, you know what they should have done? Duke, North Carolina, followed by Louisville on the road.
And then their other matchups with Duke and North Carolina.
Well, they already had the first one took place, but otherwise, I'm with you.
Well, we're in a hypothetical world.
Okay. In that case, I want to go Duke, North Carolina, Duke. And then back to Carolina.
I want them to play him 5 times.
Yeah. Singled out. Rolling, yeah. Only team in the
Keep
conference
giving us Miami and Wake,
Yeah,
we'll take Miami and Wake for 3 or 4.
On Tuesday, you get Pitt at BC, no thanks. Duke at Louisville, though. Hey, now, back-to-back nights. We're doing some things in the ACC.
Chris Mack is a great coach.
Wake's at Florida State on Wednesday. We know that. We'll be here at the TLC Double C. Clemson at Miami, no thanks. Georgia Tech at Virginia Tech, no thanks. Syracuse at NC State, who's fallen by the wayside. Wheels have come off.
Well, that was about a couple weeks ago in the studio. I said, did you see NC State's schedule?
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Everybody goes through that stretch, but NC State is really, my God.
Wearing it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing to see. Did you watch any of the AAF over the weekend? I know you and I saw a snippet of it together.
We did.
At the deck. Beautiful weather outside as it was. But I actually watched a little bit of this just to see what they were doing differently. And I can tell you this, I don't know how much of it I'm going to watch. I can tell you I won't be watching any of the games in which Marvin Lewis is a color commentator because, my God, he is. What are we doing, Marvin?
We're watching the dog show.
Are we just not even going to try? Marvin Lewis, if you guys missed this, I mean, this is the kind of insight he lent the coverage. That's a very good play. He literally said that. What do we do with that much enthusiasm? This is.
Yeah. I thought when they showed the broadcast crew, I said, "Oh man, they must be broadcasting offsite." No, they were there. It's just Marvin Lewis.
Marvin didn't care to be
He's whispering,
there, but they were there.
Maurice Jones-Drew's like, "How about that, Coach?" Yes.
Oh, I felt bad for him. Yeah, MJD is trying to infuse.
He's like,
life.
I want to make this a career, man.
He's trying to infuse life into the broadcast, and they go to Marvin Lewis, and he goes, "Will Sutton with the tackle there. He got in and tackled him. It was a good play." And the next time that he spoke, that was a good throw. It led to a completed pass.
And MJD says, "Well, Coach, what do you see there, man? Because that's a good play by the defense."
Well, sometimes if you catch a ball and you're running, the defense is going to try to come up and tackle you. And it's up to you to avoid that. Elude the tackler.
2nd down and 8.
That's what they were doing. I couldn't believe it. I would like to commend the AAF, however, for allowing for the kind of viciousness to return to football that we need to see, damn it. Sean Washington told that Brukovici kid that I've never heard of, not that that's his fault, that if you're going to hold the ball for 8 seconds, you're going to wear a beating.
Stick him in your mouth and suck him.
And the beauty of that play in the San Diego versus San Antonio AAF matchup is that, no, that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. But if you go back and watch the replay, it ought not be a penalty in any brand of football. That is pure. They would have thrown that flag 10 out of 10 times in college football, 10 out of 10 times in the NFL. But in that league, they rightfully let them play football. It was glorious.
I enjoyed it. It's going to be in the rotation.
It's what it is, right?
Well, so like it's a lazy Sunday afternoon in the spring. And so I can rotate between golf and if there's a hockey game on or there's a good college basketball game on. This makes the rotation. So I'll keep checking in on these. And then the one that's the most interesting keeps my attention. But the AAF is at least on that list.
They're doing some things well. They have the eye in the sky, by the way, which is – and look, because this is going to end up being somewhat of a feeder and somewhat of a trial and error kind of league where they allow things to happen so that the NFL can decide whether or not it's going to work, I think that we'll be rewarded with some of the ideas that we've all had as fans and that we will see this now trickle on into the league. I mean, how long have we talked about having a guy that can buzz down and say, hey, we need to take, and
guys, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, what are we doing? But also, I think it's fun because of the players. So many players are local. And, when you're following teams, a lot of people are going to gravitate towards that. You saw a ton of Florida State players.
Yeah, well, I would like to just to hear how it is day to day because obviously the big thing that they're touting, and they should, is that you're fully medically insured when you play in this league, which is huge. We talked about that last week. But you have a relationship with Coach Rick Neuheisel because of your connections on SiriusXM. So I'd love to hear how the league is run behind the scenes, how much you can do in practice, what is afforded you in terms of a facility, all that kind of stuff. Because you're right, it's better than the XFL ever was in the 90s. It looks more buttoned up, and it looks like they have an idea of what they want to do.
I think Rick would come on the show. I mean, we don't go hanging out together, but I know him well enough, and I think he would come on, and we could talk about his time there. I don't know if he'll do it in season or not, but, yeah, I would like to find that out too. There are a lot of things. I mean, this is the first weekend, and, some of it I'll watch. It's funny, I'm very much a seasons guy. I woke up today so excited about baseball, so excited about the return of both FSU baseball and pitchers and catchers reporting. And, my wife is a huge baseball fan. And so we're having coffee this morning. And just full disclosure, it's our anniversary today. And so I said, happy anniversary. And she goes, our anniversary is on the day the pitchers and catchers report. And I was like, that's why I love you,
wow.
man. That's why I love you.
Let's go home. That's ridiculous.
That's her exact words.
There is no, Ira can't follow that. That's ridiculous.
So she said. She goes, so I was like, I love you too, babe.
See you, Daniel. I'm going.
So we were talking about pitchers and catchers reporting. We were talking about spring training games. I was talking about FSU baseball starting, and I just got, so I'm very much kind of a seasonal guy. My mind switches gears as soon as one season ends and gets to the other. And it's hard for me to break those rules or cross those lines. I'm old enough to remember the USFL before Trump ruined it. And I watched those leagues. I went to that league. I went to the games with my dad, saw the Bandits play, Spurrier coached, all that stuff. And I liked it, but it's not, it's hard for me to get into it.
Yeah, but if it's the off season and you've got that on, you don't have to. You don't have to have the passion that you do for the NFL or college football, certainly. And I think that's what they're counting on. They're counting on, all right, you'll just check it out. You don't have to live and die by it, but you check it out.
But I know people that are year-round football people, and that's fine. I get it. I mean, everybody has a passion, and they'll watch every second of that stuff, and that's good. And I'm glad somebody's covering it to that end, and we'll check it out. I mean, yeah, I do remember the growing popularity of the USFL. And I can remember maybe starting to come around a little bit to sitting down and watching USFL games, actively watching, not just, oh, that's on, okay, great. No, but watching the games.
Well, the wisdom of this league is that it's bowing to the NFL all the while it's its own product.
All the while, right.
It's being carried on NFL Network. Very smart to make friends with the NFL Network and the NFL in general.
Yeah. No, there are differences, but certainly between what the USFL was and what this is, without question. Maybe I'll come around to it. I look forward to the respite from football when football ends, typically, and I embrace baseball. And, of course, we're immersed in the middle of a great basketball season right now with Florida State having won 5 straight ACC games, Florida State baseball beginning, pitchers and catchers reporting, and then, of course, also the emergence of, for you and me, and I also do a show on the SiriusXM satellite network there for the PGA Tour. I'm all in on the PGA Tour, and Phil Mickelson closes it out today and wins. It's back-to-back seasons with a win for Phil, and he's 48 years old. That's doing some things.
Yeah, that's a good dress rehearsal, too. The course isn't nearly as hard as it's going to play.
Right, it's
especially
going to play much more difficult.
With how wet it was because of all the rain this weekend. I mean, you have to lift, clean, and place out of the rough.
Yeah.
For the PGA to do that, it's got to be bad.
Well, you saw the hail.
Yeah.
My God, what are we doing here? That was crazy. Entire greens covered with ice. And then it was beautiful at the end of the day. As an aside, I hate to bring this up because I really enjoy, by the way, the breadth of his career anyhow. I think we're about done with having Clint Eastwood in the movie.
My God.
I think it's time's about
up.
I think we're about done with having Clint Eastwood in the movie.
It's like the Ditka and Bobby Knight rule.
So
they cut to the desk, and you see towards the end they cut to the desk, and he's staring off at the ceiling.
He's looking at the sun. I don't know what he. I was like, my God, he sees a butterfly. There, we're on, Clint. We're on.
It sure is a butterfly.
It was nuts.
Look at that thing.
Don't do that. Don't
flapping.
Do that. It's like when they wheeled Ted Williams out there at the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah. Steinbrenner's crying.
Well, he didn't even know where he was. He was drooling, and they were whipping him around the outfield grass, and he was scared and cold.
Go Red Sox.
It was awful. Somebody get a towel. It was awful. But this wasn't quite that. I don't want to say that. But it was enough that when they cut to him, I went, oh, nope, that's the end of that. I know he's part of the festivities every year. Did you see when Jim Nantz asked him if he'd be back the next day?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I don't know. My man, you kind of have to be. You present the trophy.
Exactly.
I just like that he was
they didn't pay me for that.
I just like that he's so cantankerous that they're at Carmel Bay, and I've been there. It is breathtakingly beautiful. Everything about that place, I've stood on the 18th green, the whole thing is awe-inspiringly gorgeous, right? But that guy has seen so many things and done so many things and made so much money and gotten so old that's boring to him. Like he's put out.
Yeah, well, and somebody asked him about photography, and they said, whether you put the lens on this or the aperture, or I don't even know the terms, but he goes, I don't know. I just tell the guy to point the camera. It's like, I think that's way
true.
To tee that up.
Yeah, thanks for going with that. Appreciate you, Clint. Yeah, his shirt was unbuttoned halfway down his chest. That part of that.
Casey Fapa.
Faldo just kept looking over from afar like at Nance thinking, ooh, come on, buddy.
You look like the chap who drank the wrong grail.
Make it happen. Make it happen. Irashafel, warchant.com to join us next. Stay tuned.
Sorry, boys, I did not.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Ram 1500s in stock with up to $11,000 off MSRP. You can't go wrong. Motor Trend Truck of the Year and up to $11,000 off MSRP. It's the deal of the year. There's only one place to go. Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat on the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Or visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Dealer retains all rebates and incentives plus tax, tag, and dealer fee.
At Hardee's, we grew up. We stopped sleeping with our handmade nightlights and pacifiers. But there was one childhood classic we couldn't kick, the grilled cheese. So we made our grilled cheese grow up into a handsome bacon thick burger. Freshly toasted sourdough, melted Swiss, and American cheese with crispy applewood smoked bacon on 100% Black Angus beef. The grilled cheese bacon thick burger. Only available for a limited time because it's so grown up and it's very busy and has very little work-life balance.
Hardee's because it tastes better.
Available now for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants.
Hey, sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on and on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
Hendrick.
Are you ready to rule the open road? Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet has just what you need. Right now, get huge savings on the 2018 Silverado 1500 during the Silverado Sell Down Sales Event. So hurry in to shop our huge Silverado selection at Tallahassee's Chevy Truck Headquarters. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevy on West Tennessee or DaleJr.Chevy.com. Find new roads.
Honda is kicking off its campaign for great deals at the Honda President's Day sales event. Right now, you can enjoy a monumental offer on any of the three candidates, the Accord, Pilot, and Civic sedan. Each stylish vehicle will support your peace of mind with standard Honda sensing, a suite of safety and driver assistive technologies like road departure mitigation system and the collision mitigation braking system. And Honda has been appointed KBB.com's 2018 Best Overall Value brand. So hurry to your local Honda dealer and cast your vote for great deals.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi with breaking news. The Browns have signed running back Kareem Hunt to a one-year deal, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Hunt was released by the Chiefs in December after a video surfaced showing him shoving and kicking a woman last February. He was not arrested or charged. He's also accused of punching a man last June. ESPN's Dan Graziano reports the discipline process still ongoing regarding Hunt and nowhere near done. He'll be put back on the commissioner's exempt list until the league makes a final decision on discipline. This is an unbelievable second chance for Hunt in Cleveland, in the opinion of ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
He will now play in the NFL 21 minutes away from where he played in high school. He will do so. His rookie contract is not even up yet. He will eventually hit that open market in 2022. He has the chance to now be in his hometown, playing for his hometown team, and eventually getting the payday that he had always dreamt of.
There is a connection between Hunt and Browns GM John Dorsey. Dorsey was with the Chiefs when they drafted him 2 years ago. For Kyler Murray, it's hello football, goodbye baseball. The Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and 2018 first-round pick of the Oakland A's announced on Twitter he's fully committing his life and time to becoming an NFL quarterback. In his latest mock draft, ESPN's Todd McShay has Murray going to the Dolphins 13th overall. NBA scoring leader James Harden tries to run his 30-point streak to 30 straight games when the Rockets welcome Rookie of the Year frontrunner Luka Doncic and the Mavericks tonight. Things do not get any easier for Virginia. 2 days after a loss to number 2 Duke, the 4th-ranked Cavaliers are at number 8 North Carolina, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. The Tar Heels have won 7 straight. They're tied with the Blue Devils for the lead in the ACC. Virginia's third, 1 game back.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello, hope you are well. Let's do what we normally do here in just a second and bring in my good buddy, Irashafel, warchant.com. He'll join us just a second. We're online, of course, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always, if you miss anything, we do post all 3 hours of the program both to iTunes and our own Audio Vault. You can also find it with the WTSM app, which is free for your mobile devices. You can email us if you like, jcs@979espnradio.com. And let's see. Yeah, I got the email out there. We're good. YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. Good to see you. I'm excited.
You know, we had 3 people tie for the score predictor contest at the deck this weekend. 3 people said 81-75 was the final. And so we have to do a random number generator where I'm going to have them all pick. Yeah, and you're going to do that.
Okay. I like doing that.
Not today. I got to contact the other 2, but one of them we know.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we can't just cheat and give it to them?
No, absolutely not.
That's illegal.
We got to play on the up and up here, man. There's $50 to the deck on the line.
That's true. So how about that? 3 people said 81-75.
Yes.
That's impressive. Okay, so for Florida State, it's an 80-75 win, as we documented last hour. Let's bring in our good buddy, Ira Shafel, warchant.com now, and get his thoughts on that and the way this team's playing, as well as some other items. Hello, Ira. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good, man. I sat there. Well, let's do this in reverse. I sat there just as you did. We also were bearing witness to the very, very scary set of circumstances that happened after this game ended. We were watching from on high and holding our breath, and I suppose you were down on the floor watching the individual who had a heart attack after the game. Why don't you give us the backdrop on that story? I know you wrote about it.
Yeah, a 77-year-old Florida State fan, lifelong Florida State fan, went to FSU 50 years ago, came up to the game from St. Pete with his son and enjoyed the game. I think talking to his son, it sounds like the intensity of the game and just the obviously he was having some heart issues in general, but the intensity of the game kind of maybe pushed it over the edge. And right when the game ended and everybody else was leaving the arena, he and his son went down to kind of get a closer glimpse of Dick Vitale and kind of see the TV set up down there. And when they went down there, he fell ill and was having a hard time breathing, was having chest pains. And so his son sat him down and got help and basically just went up and grabbed somebody on the staff at the Tucker Center. They're all well connected on radios for those types of circumstances. And by the time he got back down to his father, there were first responders there. The team physicians came out. They ended up doing the whole thing. I mean, he's got oxygen masks. They were doing chest compressions. And sure enough, he had a heart attack. But thanks largely to the work of the first responders, he came out of it okay. And, the miraculous thing, what I tweeted about that, I think a lot of people, and I think you guys saw and the people who were there saw, but, when he came to and sat up, I think everybody was just in shock. Because when we were watching it first, even after the first responders kind of calmed down and stopped running around, sometimes you want a bad thing. And all the activity was kind of slowing down, so I didn't know. And then when he sat up and the fans who were there started to cheer, I think he just did the first thing that came natural, and he kind of gave him a chop, and then everybody really cheered. So it was really just a crazy scene, but more than anything, most importantly, he came out of it okay. He actually talked to his son today, and Mr. Fernandez was released from the hospital today and is heading back home to St. Pete. And it's just a crazy Florida State fan story.
It was, and like you just described, I thought at first it was just somebody had slipped and, or maybe had fainted, but I didn't realize how severe it was. And I think we all sat there very scared. And I'll be honest with you, just the full reveal here, both my boys were at the game with me, and I was debating, do I take them out of here? What do we do? Because the chest compressions, you start thinking, oh, no, we may be witnessing somebody pass on. And when he got up, I was hugging the boys, and they were like, oh, it's going to be all right. And then we started laughing because my man was doing the chop. I thought, how do you go from chest compressions to doing the chop?
It really is really remarkable. And, I think just that's the scene. The whole scene was just so surreal. And apparently he was in and out of consciousness. I think that at TMH they did do a procedure on him to kind of clear him out, but it wasn't a massive heart attack, thankfully. So he was able to get out of it. But really, I mean, who knows what would have happened if it had happened 10 minutes later, or if when the game ended, instead of going down to see Dick Vitale, if he had gone up and gotten in the car and just been in the mass of humanity, who knows if they would have been able to get to him that quickly. But the family was just, his son and the whole family was just so really thankful for the first responders and particularly the FSU team doctors who came out of the locker room to help out as well, because there's no, they just had to wait for the ambulance. It could have been a tougher situation.
Now on to something far less important, but also very exciting, obviously, and that is that Florida State keeps on winning games, 5 straight now, and this was one of the games that, frankly, when you look at all the statistics, you might wonder until you really delve into it how it was even possible that they won this game, especially with the first half stats. But, again, they got all those extra possessions, creating steals, and they're just finding more and more ways to win basketball games. They're clearly getting healthier. Now they're in the top 20 in both polls. And this is a team that has a ton of heart, is awfully tough, and can beat you in a lot of different ways and play in a lot of different ways and overcome some deficiencies. I guess assess where we're at through 10 conference games now, having won 5 straight, moving to 6-4.
Yeah, I think you really, you have evidence now. You have strong evidence that what happened after the Duke game was kind of a blip on the radar and kind of a maybe they just kind of let their emotions get to them, and then coupled with some guys being banged up, that they lost their edge maybe there for a week or two, and now they're playing the way they did early in the season. And I thought, I'm just impressed by the way they've won different ways, and also the way they've competed, really against what most people would say are their Achilles heel. If you think back to the Xavier game a couple years ago when they lost in the NCAA tournament, where Xavier just said, look, you're not getting to the basket. Good luck shooting, because we're not letting you get to the basket. And that seemed to be kryptonite for Florida State for a while. And, they shot their way shot Syracuse out of their zone, shot it well at Miami. And in this game, it wasn't necessarily their three-point shooting, but I think it was the way Cabangeli was able to get their bigs away from the basket and drive to the basket. Because those dudes, they got 2 dudes inside that are really not going to give up a lot. They're rim protectors, and the one guy's a monster. But Cabangeli got them away from the basket, got them both in foul trouble, and I thought that was a big key to the game, because then FSU started to do a lot more damage around the basket, which clearly Louisville, Chris Mack does not want to let opponents do. Certainly a team like Florida State.
Yeah, and you mentioned Cabangeli, and I brought it up to Coach Ham on Friday in an interview I did with him. He didn't want any part of that larger conversation, but, man, doesn't it just feel like more and more this is the last we're going to see of that young man here?
I mean, he's fun to watch. I mean,
he's a beast.
As much as anybody I can remember. Again, I keep going back to Al Thornton, and they're different kinds of players, but to me they're similar in that they just were so almost unguardable and play with a lot of passion. Cabangeli maybe to a different level. I mean, and the neat thing about that game was, he'll play with some passion, but he was also really smart. When the Louisville guys got chippy, he let the one guy get a technical, and I thought there was another guy that might get one later.
Yes.
And so, I mean, he's playing with a maturity. He didn't get in foul trouble in this game. He's avoiding some of the crazy fouls. Shooting well from the line. So, I mean, he's really become a complete basketball player.
It's a joy to watch, and as they continue to get healthier and guys have figured out their roles, and Ham certainly knows he's got at least 9 guys he can really trust. They're going to be tough to beat, and it's going to be a lot of fun watching them. We'll see over these next 2 games if they can build a little bit of a cushion. Real quick, I wanted to touch on the Anthony Edwards kid, the guard out of Atlanta. We found out on Friday that he had canceled his visit. Up until that point, it certainly seemed like he may be coming to Tallahassee. At the end of the day, Tom Crean is somehow able to convince him to stay home, and I don't want to allege impropriety. It is his home, but that is a damn sorry-ass program at Georgia that he'll be playing for, and I guess your thoughts on what you've heard about that situation.
I mean, you feel really bad for, this coaching staff. I think Leonard Hamilton, Charlton Young, who usually does a tremendous job in Georgia. for Florida State. He played college basketball there. Is very connected in that AAU scene, and it seems pretty obvious. If you read the coverage this morning from the Georgia papers and the websites, basically his AAU coach, I think, it seems very strongly like he was controlling the situation, and he wanted to go with Tom Crean in Georgia, and for whatever reason, and again, I think up until 3 months ago, everybody thought he was Florida State. The last 2 or 3 weeks, you started to hear more and more about Georgia, and it looked like, again, this is a situation where they all seem to be on board. His high school coach and his AAU coach clearly supported this, and Florida State loses out. It's a shame because he's obviously as big as it gets, supposed to be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. I would say this, and I was having a conversation with our good buddy Eric Eggers last night via text, and he pointed out that, you can make a case that, Leonard's had more success maybe with teams that don't have those one-and-done guys overall than he has with those kinds of guys. So, at the end of the day, it's not going to cripple this program, but you feel bad for the coaches because they've been working on this literally for years.
Well, right. And I also know that one of the things I admire about Coach Hamilton is he doesn't waver. Handlers and others that are involved with these kids' recruitments are not going to convince him to do things that, run counter to the way he runs his program. So if you get a kid, and I don't know what specifically happened here, but if you get a guy who says, I'd like this guy to be a point guard, and Ham has a point guard, he's not going to say, sure, you'll be my point guard. He's going to say, well, Trent Forrest is my point guard. Well, he's going to play, but he's not going to be a point guard. And we've seen this now where if you don't acquiesce to demands in other situations, those guys oftentimes go elsewhere, C.O. Biagu and others.
Yeah, and I also think that the good thing here for Florida State is, if you go back to the Andrew Wiggins situation, Hamilton, as mad as he was about not getting Andrew Wiggins, I think he was more mad at himself for spending so much of his own time and not really having backup plans. And for the next year or two after that, anytime that situation would come up, he would say, I'm never going to get burned like that again. I'm going to have backup plans. I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket no matter what they tell me during the process. So the nice thing about this, if there is a nice thing, is that that they're not – this isn't a situation where it was boom or bust. They've recruited really well. Yes. They've got a great team coming back. Depending, Kevin Gelly's a big question mark, but overall, and then they've got some kids coming in. So I think that this isn't a situation where it's going to set Florida State back a year or two, which, quite frankly, I think the Wiggins thing did.
Well, I have nothing against the young man, Anthony Edwards, but he's going to go play for a team that's 1-9 in conference right now, 10-13 overall, and that's not a great conference. And, of course, the head coach, Tom Crean, just got done rolling his entire team under the bus over the weekend. So
he did.
Good luck with that, buddy. Always a pleasure, my brother. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll see you.
All right, take care. That's IrishFellWarChant.com. Yeah, man, it's a weird situation. If going by some of the speculation and some of the stuff we've heard, it sounds an awful lot like terms were being dictated once again with handlers and others telling a coach, hey, this is how we want it played. And I'll say this, Leonard loves these kids, and Leonard goes to bat for these kids, and these kids do good things. They come here, they graduate, they play hard, they win a lot of basketball games. But he's not going to cater to your whims. He's not going to run the program the way you want it to be run, and he's certainly not going to kowtow to demands for a kid that's never stepped foot on a basketball court and played a college basketball game.
Well,
that's what I mean, more importantly, that he's obviously played basketball, but not in college.
And someone who's going to give you 35 games and then leave.
Yeah, it's not like that guy is saying, I'll be there for 3 years, and I want to make sure I'm doing this, and this, because that's my future. I mean, it's like you said, it's 35 games. We're not doing that. Because what would that say to Trent Forrest and every other kid that has sacrificed and worked so hard?
Well, look at his career, Trent's. Right. I mean, seriously, he was part with C.J. Walker. We had that second line coming in 2016, and we loved them for their defense and their effort. They'd give us 10, 15 minutes of hell for the other team. It was fun to watch. And then you build it up to an Elite Eight run, and then this year he's fighting through and gutting through everything for this program. And then he can complete his degree next year, and I'm sure he can play somewhere else. I don't know about the NBA, obviously, but he can play in a league somewhere internationally. He's too gifted. He's too athletic. If he ever developed a shot, he would be an NBA draft pick. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, you're not going to tell a senior four-year big-time contributor in the program to take a seat for some punk.
Well, and I mean, yes.
Who might go – yes, he'll go number 1 overall in the draft. I'm not
Yeah, and you're not saying he's personally a punk. You don't know that, but yeah, his people.
What's that do to the balance of your team? And that kid doesn't care at the end of the day, or his handlers certainly don't, about you making a Final Four run. If his development is served better and the team is worse off for it, then they don't care.
Georgia's had 2 first-round draft picks since 2000. Good luck. I mean, he's going to be the third.
It'll be 3.
It'll be 3. But, I mean, he's going to have to be
frankly
an amazing player.
I think the most disappointing thing, honestly, is getting that money from him once he gets to the NBA to give back to the program, like Kevin Durant did for Texas.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm like, damn, we probably could use about $3 or $4 million down the road there.
Wouldn't stink. But
won't get that.
Yeah, it's all right. Cobb and Galley will give it. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys,
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Mardi Gras is March 5th, and Tasty Pastry Bakery is busy baking up their famous New Orleans king cakes just for you. This traditional cake is a coffee cake formed in an oval ring and decorated with brightly colored sugar, purple, green, and gold, to signify justice, faith, and wealth. Baked into each cake, a tiny plastic infant signifies Christ the King. When the cake is sliced, whoever gets the plastic infant in their piece of cake is named King for a day and is supposed to bring a king cake next year. Choose from an assortment of fillings: apple, cherry, blueberry, pineapple, raspberry, strawberry, or cream cheese. Get yours today. Tasty Pastry Bakery in the Market District on Market Street, 6:45 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Online at tastypastrybakery.com.
Your good old-fashioned bakery. Remember Tasty Pastry.
Call 893-3752.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Hi, this is David. Listen up. Deep South Kawasaki in Thomasville has excess 2019 side-by-side inventory, and it must go. Deep South Kawasaki is currently offering a 2019 Mule SX 4x4 for only $67.99. That's $700 less than the original MSRP of $74.99. Yes, that's right. Only $67.99 for a 2019 Mule SX 4x4. Supplies are limited, so don't miss out. Deep South Kawasaki is located on US 19 South in Thomasville.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Recently, I've seen a lot of commercials from attorneys and public adjusters trying to cash in on the hurricane damages to your home or business. Using these individuals could result in a reduction in your insurance claim reimbursement. As a licensed roofing and general contractor, we know how to navigate insurance claims so that you don't have to share your reimbursement with an attorney or a public adjuster. If you have questions, give us a call. Our advice is free. Turning your claim over to an attorney or a public adjuster is not.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Sarcoma. Odds are you've never heard that word before. For the 40 people diagnosed with sarcoma every day, it is a life-changing word because sarcoma is cancer. Through awareness, advocacy, and research, the Sarcoma Foundation of America is bringing hope to the families whose lives have been turned upside down by a cancer they had never heard of until diagnosis. Please join us in the fight to find the cure for sarcoma. For more information on the work of the Sarcoma Foundation of America, go to curesarcoma.org.
Everybody wants to win the Great American Race.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series.
2 car lengths out in front, and the pack is steaming down behind him.
The dramatic conclusion of Daytona Speed Weeks.
Kurt Busch spins, and they're all piling in now.
Is the Great American Race.
It's on here at Daytona.
The 61st Daytona 500.
Pull your seatbelts down. It's getting ready to get really crazy.
Sunday at 1:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Daytona 500 on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Brought to you by Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet, 3127 West Tennessee Street. Online at DaleEarnhardtJRChevy.com. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
On ESPN Radio, Kyler Murray will give up $1.29 million of the $1.5 million signing bonus money the Oakland A's gave him last year. He forfeits the remaining $3.16 million due him in March. The A's will put him on the restricted list and retain his rights, but they don't get a compensatory, I can't say the word.
Compensatory?
Compensatory, Jeff. Jesus. Compensatory. Compensatory draft pick.
That was
because,
the Italian flourish. Compensatory.
Yeah, no, I actually lost my place and panicked. Draft pick because he chose the NFL. So Murray's not signed. The A's, had Murray not signed, I should say, the A's would receive the 11th pick in this year's draft. This is nuts to me, but listen, I'm never going to begrudge somebody chasing a dream, so good luck to him. I hope he does well. I don't think he has any shot in hell of being any good at all, but it's not up to me. So
sure, the A's are saying, you'll be back. All right, we'll see you soon.
But, it would be neat if he does it because we'll see something for the first time. And listen, I was reading more and more as time went on about the prospect Kyler Murray, and there was no guarantees that he was going to be a great player, a lot of people said, in the bigs either. And if your passion is football and you think you can get drafted in the top 20, top 15, you're going to get the kind of money you're giving up right now.
Right.
And
you
so,
could be overhyped, fail at the NFL, and then go back to MLB, be overhyped and fail there and make a lot of money along the way.
Yeah, financially speaking, he's not hurt. Initially, when you read that dollar amount, you go, oh, man, what are your handlers doing? Why? But when you realize that some dumbass team is going to take a 5'8" quarterback in the first round, then what do you care? You'll take advantage of them and take their money, and, that'll be that.
The Buffalo Bills select. We're going to have the best 2-quarterback system in the game, boys.
Oh, man. I'll root for him. I guess I say that. I say I root for him. I'll root for him depending on where he goes. Obviously, there are teams I dislike, so I can't say unequivocally that I'll root for him. But I got nothing against him. He played at Oklahoma. I like Oklahoma, and he played well there. And so I'll root for him to do well. He seems about all right to be a good kid. I do find this fascinating. The number one thing I want to see is, who is it that is positioning or who is working overtime to convince people that write articles for ESPN, Yahoo Sports, Sporting News, anybody else, that this kid is now suddenly edging towards 5'11"? I've seen a number of articles that Murray is between 5'10" and 5'11". He is? So all during the course of the year, we were told he's 5'8", 5'9" at best. I remember at one point somebody said,
Yeah.
well, it's really remarkable to see a 5'8" quarterback do this. And then occasionally you hear, well, I actually think he's closer to 5'9". You never heard 5'11". You never heard 5'11" from anybody.
Well, maybe in this time between the end of the season and the combine, especially now the combine is pushed back from where it used to be. This is kind of the area that it used to be right now on the calendar. Maybe he goes Gattaca, and he gets the extensions in the shins.
Well, what I would say is I don't really care if he makes it great, but I do think from a historical perspective and from a reducing the risk percentage, right, where you are looking at a guy, drafting a guy, is there a skill set there that's worthy of the position in the first round? Well, okay, certainly he can throw it. He's not coming out of a system necessarily that helps you project accurately, but then again, it doesn't prohibit you in doing so because Baker Mayfield had a very good year, and he's a guy that we saw throw the ball accurately in a system that didn't necessarily translate to the league. And so I'm not going to immediately assume he can't do that. But again, you do not see guys in that league. The exceptions are a Drew Brees or a Russell Wilson, and they're not 5'9". They're not 5'8". They're 5'11" or 6 feet. They're not, and there is a big difference.
Yeah.
Especially in a league full of giants.
You know who seems to be the one stumping for this? Oddly, I think he's stepping out of his usual role on ESPN, but Adam Schefter seems oddly invested in this Kyler Murray draft stock thing. I don't know. It's just anytime he can inject even some indirect opinion, it's always about first round this, first round that.
It's a terrible year for quarterbacks. So I think if you're just talking about the potential for him to go in the first round, and you're not judging because it's not your job necessarily to judge, and it is my job to give you my opinion, but for those guys, projections, if their job is to tell you where they think he'll go or is there interest, then it makes a lot of sense that a lot of them would say, I think he goes in the first round because it's a sorry year for quarterbacks.
Right. And yes, there are 2 or 3 ridiculous things every year in the first round. And that's what you're trying to project is who is idiotic. I mean, the organizations usually speak for themselves in terms of win and loss record, but it's hard to predict owners going AWOL, right? And then just out of nowhere, they pick up the phone and they say, well, I want E.J. Manuel in the first round. You do? Yes. And you're going to make it happen or you're fired.
Good luck with that.
Right.
And he was prototypical in terms of size.
How am I supposed to mock that, if I'm not Adam Schefter, if I'm Mel Kiper?
No, you're right. And I will say this. The number one thing that Kyler Murray has going for him is the same thing you and I talked about all during football season when we talked about the NFL and some things that have changed. There are more teams in the league that mimic some of these collegiate offenses. We're seeing more and more of it now find its way into the league. And he obviously was immensely skilled and accomplished in college, running a college system. And if there's a team willing to commit to more of those elements and really kind of decide we are invested in that's what we believe the future to look like in this league. Here's a guy who executed that exceptionally well, and we're not going to keep him in the pocket traditionally, because if that's the case, he's got no chance. But if you're going to do it the other way, if you're going to do it the way he did in college or something very close to it, okay.
Well, here's a question for you, and I don't mean who is the better prospect, who is the better athlete. I mean, who is the better quarterback prospect in the last 2 years, Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray?
Well, I didn't think Lamar Jackson.
Correct. This is helping me define my terms on how little you think of Kyler Murray.
I would say Kyler Murray is a better prospect.
And then, projecting him in the first round is a smart move by mock drafters.
Well, no, I think that I'm not taking issue with that. I'm not taking issue with people who project him to go in the first round. I'm saying that if he plans on having a long career as an NFL quarterback, I don't see that happening. But it doesn't matter. Play whatever you want to play. I just don't think he's going to. I'm not drafting him. I can tell you that. If we're in the 3rd or 4th round, he's still sticking around. I'll take a flyer. He's not a.
Well, he's a great injury replacement. quarterback. It's like,
Yeah,
all right,
because
my
you
guy
can't
goes
prepare for
down.
him. Yeah.
We're gonna go 2-1 in these 3 games with
You,
this guy.
you probably would because that's why Lamar did so well. You saw the Chargers were the first team to see him a second time. What happened there?
He fumbled like 19 times.
Well,
that
he
game.
was useless until there was about 8 minutes left in the game. And so I tend to think that's the trend. We get caught up, prisoners of the moment, a lot of people do, especially if they want a guy to make it. And
But
they'll
then
say,
he saw him for the second time, and then once he got that second half, he saw him the second time. He said,
didn't do anything in the third quarter.
I figured it out. I've unlocked the matrix.
No, he didn't. He ran around.
That's all I need to do. I'm Lamar Jackson, damn it.
There was a broken play on 3rd and 16.
You're damn right it
that
was.
If he doesn't complete, they get blown out. So he makes it mildly close.
That's who I am.
Because he ran around for a few minutes.
I'm pro Johnny Manziel. That's right. You saw it at Texas A&M. I could bring it to Sundays.
I mean, the mistake here is to make that personal. I mean, I roll my eyes at guys. It doesn't mean I don't root for them to do well.
Now go get me Mike Evans.
I mean, I'm looking at, I look at, I look at a guy like Lamar Jackson. I'm like, man, he struggled with a 10-yard pass. What's he going to do in the league, accuracy-wise, right? At some point,
he was like, I'm not running the 40. No. We're not doing any conversion talk here, people. I'm not converting to nothing. I'm a quarterback. I'm not running a 40.
Which is fine. And then, you know what? It worked. They did it. I mean, the Ravens took him, and there you go.
And now Harbaugh is living and dying with him, apparently.
Well, he may want to take it on down the road. That's not going to work.
He may have wanted to go to Tampa.
He may have.
The agent calls. We got you the extension. You did. With Lamar. That's right. You guys together.
Good luck to Kyler Murray. It would be fascinating. It would be interesting, wouldn't it? I mean, we would be stunned.
That would be fun.
If in 4 years from now, that guy is a viable upper echelon starter in the league, I will be stunned. Absolutely stunned. And it will, at the very least, suggest there's been a continued sea change in the league, which is great. I'm for that. As I sit here today, I'll be stunned if it happens. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
also accused of punching a man last June. ESPN's Dan Graziano reports the discipline process still ongoing regarding Hunt and nowhere near done. He'll be put back on the commissioner's exempt list until the league makes a final decision on discipline. This is an unbelievable second chance for Hunt in Cleveland, in the opinion of ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
He will now play in the NFL 21 minutes away from where he played in high school. He will do so. His rookie contract is not even up yet. He will eventually hit that open market in 2022. He has the chance to now be in his hometown, playing for his hometown team, and eventually getting the payday that he had always dreamt of.
There is a connection between Hunt and Browns GM John Dorsey. Dorsey was with the Chiefs when they drafted him 2 years ago. For Kyler Murray, it's hello football, goodbye baseball. The Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and 2018 first-round pick of the Oakland A's announced on Twitter he's fully committing his life and time to becoming an NFL quarterback. In his latest mock draft, ESPN's Todd McShay has Murray going to the Dolphins 13th overall. NBA scoring leader James Harden tries to run his 30-point streak to 30 straight games when the Rockets welcome Rookie of the Year frontrunner Luka Doncic and the Mavericks tonight. Things do not get any easier for Virginia. 2 days after a loss to number 2 Duke, the fourth-ranked Cavaliers are at number 8 North Carolina, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. The Tar Heels have won 7 straight. They're tied with the Blue Devils for the lead in the ACC. Virginia's third, 1 game back.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Don't normally bring this up, but see old Adnan Burt got fired?
Yeah, giving away company secrets.
Yeah, I saw Andrew Marchand's story from the New York Post, and he broke the story originally. Fired from Baseball Tonight, college football studio work, college basketball studio work, etc. Leaked information about Baseball Tonight, the show, to website Awful Announcing, preemptively leaking info about Major League Baseball's relationship with ESPN, etc. And here's the part that made me laugh, man. You know how frequently, and we've all done it to varying degrees, but smart people make really strange decisions. My man did all of that on his work phone.
Dude. Come on, man.
That's how he got caught. He did it on his work phone, so when they came to him and said, "Is that you? Are you the guy leaking stuff to Awful Announcing?" He said no. They said, "Let's see your phone." And the answers were soon revealed because it wasn't his private phone. He had to give up the phone. They got it and went, "Oh, well, here's you contacting them about our meeting."
So he couldn't have pulled an Urban Meyer and said, hang on a minute.
How do you delete messages, say, an hour old?
And it's
older.
It's got nothing to do with this particular issue at all. It's just something I wanted to do.
This is inside baseball, but here you go. How about the fact that he's fired upon first transgression? And that's not that fireable of offense. So what I would say to you is, what did Adnan learn? And he'll get hired for big money, and he's probably going to be paid to not work for some time, which an arrangement they'll work out instead of going to court. But I would say what he learned is that he's not Scott Van Pelt. He's not Stephen A. He's not Chris Fowler. That's what I'd say he learned, because there's no way any of those guys.
Yeah, well, Urban Meyer's going to get hired by the He's not Urban Meyer either for the same thing. Give us your phone. Okay, hang on a minute.
You think he does get hired by ESPN? Not this year. It'll be the following year.
I don't know.
There'll be enough distance.
They were pretty chummy in the Rose Bowl.
Well, they
covered that pretty positively.
Your boy especially was. But, yeah, I mean, I thought, man, that's harsh. Adnan got fired with the quickness. He hosted everything.
Yes, he did.
College football studio,
He would. That's
MLB
from like noon
Network.
to the post.
Oh.
I mean, he was there for 13, 14
Worked
hours.
him to the bone, that guy. He was all too happy to be smiling. Plus, he was forever talking about movies. Just between that, movies, hosting radio shows, worked incessantly, fired, bam. You gotta do stuff that's not on your work phone, kids. Can't be on the work phone.
Texting awful announcing.
I couldn't believe that's how he got caught. So there was a meeting that took place allegedly, and a teleconference, if you will, and the contents of that was leaked to awful announcing, and you know, a lot of these guys, a lot of these big time figures at ESPN leak information that's going to benefit them. All of them have at varying points, I would assume. I think it's a normal thing to happen, the way I understand it, the way that works. And in the past, and I guess I should be very careful about naming specific people, but some of the people I may have just referenced, doing that so that when the next story that awful announcing writes or whomever the website is, it reads beneficial. It certainly puts you in a position to be seen in a good light.
Yes, I'm going to get out in front of this. Yes.
Right. And so there's an understanding and an exchange made. I'm just guessing those guys didn't do it on their ESPN phone, my man. What are you doing?
I hope he saved it as like Rich from awful announcing in his contacts.
And they go back and you see every exchange. There's stuff in there immediately following their meetings.
Hey, awful announcing, I've got something for you.
And then there's this. New England Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman addressed that 4-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs. Now that he won the MVP, people have gone back and talked of the Super Bowl.
The talking points on Julian Edelman have ranged from he should go to the Hall of Fame to he doesn't deserve to win an MVP of any kind after PEDs.
Right. And neither is true, right? He shouldn't go to the Hall of
Correct.
Fame, and you can win.
As is typically the case with arguing at both ends of the spectrum. Yes.
Right. He said this about that suspension. He was asked about it again. He's on the publicity tour now because he won the MVP. He's everywhere these days. He's in every advertisement that's on my pop-up ad as soon as I turn on the computer. Oh, Edelman again. Enough with you jumping around in jeans. But there it is, okay? And he was asked about that suspension and said, well, people don't know really what happened. And he went on to say, I can't sit here and, due to the league rules, say what happened. He told NBC Sports that. I'm not going down that road of whether the suspension was fair or not. I served what I had to serve, and I accept that. I know a lot of people were disappointed in me for it. I apologized. It'll never happen again. It was pointed out that NFL players are at liberty to discuss suspensions and the like per league rules. So he's hiding behind the I'm not allowed to. And here's where I thought that, you know what I wanted him to do? You know what would make me embrace him like it would so many other professional athletes, in particular football players? Say I did it so that I could get a distinct advantage on my competitors. Can you please just do that? Will one of you do them? Please, just somebody say that. Just say what we already know it to be, and I'll go. Football is a brutal game, a vicious, combatant sport in which people beat the ever-living hell out of each other. And if you just said, well, I'm not all that big, so I took steroids so I'd have an advantage over my competitors. And it worked.
Yeah, I did.
I was suspended 4 games. I came back, whooped ass, and won the MVP in the Super Bowl. Yay me. Have a good day, partner. And that's the end of it.
I did it for me, and I did it for the people of New England, who have shown me so much kindness and grace.
And this great franchise. And Tom Brady. I'm getting choked up thinking about it. Every time I took that needle and placed it in my buttocks, I thought how much I love this city, this organization, this great sport, these people.
And I was ashamed, frankly, because the TB12 method is just better than any method I've ever tried. And Tom, it's totally on the up and up what Tom does with the TB12 method. I cannot stress that enough, that he does these things and he defies age by staying completely on the right side of this issue, and I fell on the wrong side of the issue. And
because what he does is nonsense, and what I did is scientifically proven to work. Steroids work. all that drinking tons of water every day, that's great for hydration. This makes you bigger, stronger, faster. I can't wait to take more steroids before the start of next year. I'll just be better about it.
Alkalinity is in no way.
It's a fraud. It's crazy.
That's in no
talk.
way a euphemism for steroids. I just want to be clear on this.
I doubt Brady's on steroids. He's on whatever he's been sold down the river with here. But I think your boy Edelman would. I mean, he would have won.
I mean,
a lot of people over just by saying, "Yeah, I did steroids. They work."
Who was it for the Marlins that did the HGH? The rail thin guy was D. Gordon. Who was it?
Well, yeah, I think it was D. Gordon.
Yeah,
he was suspended for 50 games.
It's possible.
I guess
for
it is.
recovery's sake,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but he never gets hit. So I don't know what
his shoulder fatigue. I mean,
I think he's probably
going to have arthritis soon.
He's done a lot of. He's younger than me. He's done a lot of things.
How's the arthritis treating
I
you?
don't. Fine. My foot that was surgically repaired has problems. Everything else is fine.
At any rate, happy 30th anniversary today.
It's 13th. What I would tell you, though, is that I'm still waiting for that guy to do that thing that I just described, and I really want it to happen. That guy will be my new favorite player. Just say what we all know to be true. I did it so that I would have a distinct advantage over those that I seek to compete against on Sundays. That's it. That's why I took steroids.
Have you seen James Harrison?
I mean, what do you expect me to do? Look at these guys.
When I first got to the league, there's Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, James Harrison.
Forget about it.
What do you expect me to do here?
Take stuff that allows me to be faster than them, I can tell you that.
It's either that or death, and I choose life.
And winning around every turn. Now, excuse me, I've got a workout to attend. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Rome proper, right? Bowls upon bowls upon bowls.
That's very interesting.
What's the high school over in Jacksonville, the one with all the good football players?
Bowls?
Right.
What are you getting at here, Jeff?
Mo used what to cut his hair?
I don't know, Jeff. What is a bowl?
Boom. A bowl indeed.
Hey, that gives me an idea.
Really?
We should have bowls here at Gordo's. We can do all kinds of bowls. We can do chicken bowls, fish bowls. We can do steak bowls, pork bowls, veggie bowls. Brilliant. I'm a genius. Jeff? Hey, Jeff.
Okay, that ought to do it. Thanks, Jessica, for coming over and helping me declutter my home.
You're welcome. That's what friends are for. Ooh, check it out. I found some loose change in this corner.
That is the second time you have found some hidden treasures in my house.
Do you know you can find savings in every corner of your home?
Okay, I'm listening.
You can find savings from the city of Tallahassee. With their 5% interest financing for more than 25 energy-efficient appliances, measures, and systems, you can get a loan for things like outdoor lighting, floor, ceiling, and wall insulation, Energy Star reflective roofing, and even things like gas ranges, fire logs, and grills.
Wait, even on grills? I've been shopping around for a new gas grill. I had no idea, and with it getting even darker, I could use some outdoor lighting. Seems the City of Tallahassee's loan program may be the perfect solution.
Well, just be sure and invite me over the next time you grill.
Of course, that's what friends are for.
Take advantage of the City of Tallahassee's loan program and save energy, water, and money. Visit talgov.com to learn more. That's talgov.com for more information.
With a Bloomberg Business of Sports report, I'm Michael Barr. Liverpool Football Club announced a record-breaking pre-tax profit of £125 million, or $162 million for last year. They're the first soccer club globally to break the £100 million mark. The previous record was set by Leicester City with $92.5 million the season after they won the Premier League. In the U.S., the Alliance of American Football kicked off over the weekend. The new league was founded by TV producer Charlie Ebersol and longtime NFL executive Bill Polian. The new league has no kickoffs, and the games are said to be quicker compared to the NFL. All bets were off over the weekend in the UK, at least at the country's horse racing tracks. An outbreak of equine flu means the sport remains shut down. Governing body, the British Horse Racing Authority, says there will be no resumption until Wednesday at the earliest, while tests are conducted on thoroughbreds across the country. And that is a Bloomberg Business of Sports report. I'm Michael Barr.
Attention everyone, I have a President's Day pro tip. You need to go to Dell.com/business deals right now because Dell's President's Day sale is live as we speak. And it's monumental. Get deals on Dell business computers with 8th gen Intel Core processors and business tech, plus doorbusters up to 45% off. Call 877-BUY-DELL now to talk to Dell's small business technology advisors and get personalized help finding the best tech at President's Day prices. Free shipping included. Again, call 877-BUY-DELL.
Grainger stands for safety, and they know what safety stands for. S, safety. A, all about safety. F, feeling good about safety. E, extreme safety. T, talking about safety. Y, you guessed it, safety. First aid kits, eye wash stations, fire protection. You name it. For over 90 years, they've been helping to keep facilities safe and people safer. When it comes to safety, Grainger's got your BACK. Call or click Grainger.com to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Jay Cameron Show. The champs are 5-0, Jeff. Sydney Sherrill is Warren 2.0. Goodness. And Megan King has pitched 14 shutout innings. That is my girl. He hashtagged it, and I know why you did, Ryan, but not everybody will know why you did, so I should clarify. I do appreciate the hashtag. It is funny. It's from something I said a year ago. Hashtag dongs to the face. And I know that on the surface that sounds terrible. We're talking about home runs, and we talked about this.
Clearly on headlines. This is not something that I heard here.
Lots of dongs last year.
We heard that.
Postseason.
Yeah, that's
just
normal Jeff Cameron Show nomenclature.
Dongs to the grill left and right last year.
Dongs to the grill, no problem.
Okay. Ryan was using that. I understood what he meant there, and I saw that Twitter question and or observation, and I thought, well, given the subject matter, I don't know.
Please tell me he tagged the entire softball team while he was at it.
Way to go, ladies. Hashtag. There's like two that heard the phrase and understood in context where that came from.
That's the Cameron Show. We love that show.
He's actually not. No, ladies.
He has that bit about how we all congratulate each other when we strike out. It's true. It is true.
Ryan, you win for my favorite hashtag in like 2 years.
No. Now people are going to try to one-up Ryan.
No,
here we go.
Here we go. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Planning. Social Catering has several options for your wedding event and catering needs. They're Tallahassee's largest catering company, and they manage event spaces at venues like Madison Social, Township, and The Gathering. They can plan all of your wedding events, engagement parties, bridal brunches, rehearsals, even wedding receptions. No new rock on the finger? Hey, doesn't matter. Whatever the event, they've got you covered. For more details, email Matt at MadisonSocial.com. Again, that's Matt at MadisonSocial.com.
Can't we all get along?
Blue Cheer Bayrum presents Kenny Chesney, Songs for the Saints Tour.
No shit.
Friday, April 26th, Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. With special guests David Lee Murphy and Caroline Jones. Tickets on sale now at TuckerCivicCenter.com. Produced by Messina Touring Group and AEG presents.
Hey guys, good news! The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/happy. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/happy. That's 4hims.com/happy.
See website for full details. Not all services through the HIMS platform are available in all 50 states.
The Stephen A. Smith Show.
It's an absolute damn travesty what the Rams fans allowed to happen at Super Bowl 53. It looked like Rams fans were outnumbered like 15-1. That was a road game for the Los Angeles Rams. That team was in the Super Bowl, and y'all couldn't find it within yourself to get to Atlanta, Georgia. Ram fans, you should be ashamed of yourself. Somebody got to tell you, so I will.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio. WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi with breaking news. The Browns have signed running back Kareem Hunt to a one-year deal, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Hunt was released by the Chiefs in December after a video surfaced showing him shoving and kicking a woman last February. He was not arrested or charged. He's also accused of punching a man last June. ESPN's Dan Graziano reports the discipline process still ongoing regarding Hunt and nowhere near done. He'll be put back on the commissioner's exempt list until the league makes a final decision on discipline. This is an unbelievable second chance for Hunt in Cleveland, in the opinion of ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
He will now play in the NFL 21 minutes away from where he played in high school. He will do so. His rookie contract is not even up yet. He will eventually hit that open market in 2022. He has the chance to now be in his hometown, playing for his hometown team, and eventually getting the payday that he had always dreamt of.
There is a connection between Hunt and Browns GM John Dorsey. Dorsey was with the Chiefs when they drafted him 2 years ago. For Kyler Murray, it's hello football, goodbye baseball. The Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and 2018 first-round pick of the Oakland A's announced on Twitter he's fully committing his life and time to becoming an NFL quarterback. In his latest mock draft, ESPN's Todd McShay has Murray going to the Dolphins 13th overall. NBA scoring leader James Harden tries to run his 30-point streak to 30 straight games when the Rockets welcome Rookie of the Year frontrunner Luka Doncic and the Mavericks tonight. Things do not get any easier for Virginia. 2 days after a loss to number 2 Duke, the fourth-ranked Cavaliers are at number 8 North Carolina, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. The Tar Heels have won 7 straight. They're tied with the Blue Devils for the lead in the ACC. Virginia's third, 1 game back.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. As you hop in your car on your way home this Monday, you can smile thinking back on what was a glorious finish to Florida State Louisville over the weekend. And yes, I did begin the show with a hearty choo-choo, and we'll do it again right here online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. If you do miss something, that's all right. We got you covered all 3 hours. It'll be posted upon the conclusion of the show, both to iTunes and in our own audio vault, as well as on the WTSM app, which is free for all your mobile devices. Thanks for watching, YouTubers and Periscopers. Of course, type in Jeff Cameron Show or ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube, and you'll find us. On Periscope, it's at 979 ESPN Radio. You can email us if you want. It's JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. Lots of happy people, lots of folks excited about what took place on Saturday. And, that game started rather ominously as Florida State could not hit a shot and was in the midst of getting buried early. But slowly but surely chipped away, fought back, and gets a 5th straight conference victory. Now finds themselves at 6-4. Florida State ranked inside the top 20. A home game against Wake Forest on Wednesday, and the Noles really have won a lot of different ways. And that's, to me, not only rewarding but fun to watch because they've had to overcome an awful lot. Some of that is, in result of injury that they had earlier this year. Some of that has been that they don't always shoot it all that well and have to find other ways to beat you. Other times they do shoot well and they don't defend. And there's just been a myriad of things. But what they are now collectively is a real good basketball team that can play it a lot of different ways and still find ways to beat really good teams. And they did that again here as they forced Louisville to turn it over 23 times. And in doing that, they got the extra possessions they had to have in order to offset the poor shooting. And, Coach Ham has spoken for years about playing great defense, and for the longest time, that was all they could do. Over the last few years, they have certainly gone about it a different way. They've recruited exceptionally well when it comes to skill offensively, but they haven't always been able to get guys to buy in on the other end. And I think when they fell to 1-4 for a myriad of reasons in conference that we talked about, they recommitted themselves to defense, and then slowly but surely they got healthier. And you're starting to see now a lot of things in common, which is that when you go back and check the box score and you go inside the numbers, and in this case, like I said, Louisville's hitting threes. We're not hitting threes at the time. Couldn't really to save our life in that first half. Louisville is shooting better from the field, much better from the field for a good portion of this game than Florida State is. You got to ask yourself time and again, how is it that Florida State's able to win the game? Well, 14 offensive rebounds on the missed shots there in that second half in particular. They were really good on the boards. And then the turnovers created, and those extra possessions lead to the opportunities, which lead to the points and the execution in the end, especially in overtime on defense, which is what allows them to walk away with an 80-75 victory. And I keep thinking about their recommitment last year to defense once the tournament started. And we didn't foresee some great run to the Elite Eight. We didn't think that this team was equipped to do it. We were just happy that we did not stall the forward progress of the season before, which was to go to the tournament finally, right? All of the angst, all of the frustration, all of the anger, rightful as it was, about the missed opportunities, the years not spent going to the tournament, and the larger discussion of, well, what do we do? Do we move on? Ham's done a good job, but not a great job. Is it time to move on? And then we saw the transition of a program, and I didn't want it to stall. They had made the tournament the year previous. Last year's team goes back to the tournament and then goes on a great run and finishes in the Elite Eight, comes this close to going to the Final Four. And we came into this season hoping, all right, a lot of experience, a lot of talent, a lot of depth. How good can they be? And the non-conference turned out great. A lot of big wins there, a lot of fine performances that led you to believe, hey, this team's going back to the tournament. But you begin ACC play 1-4, and you find out about injuries to star players, guys that you have to depend on. And yet, with the emergence of Kabengele and the renewed health of Terrence Mann, as well as slowly but surely the health of Phil Kofer and Trent Forrest figuring out how to play with his toe injury, and other guys figuring out their roles, this team bounces back from that start. This win here is kind of the culmination of all of those things and a recommitment to defense. And Florida State is now 6-4 in ACC play with a home game against Wake that they're huge favorites against, an opportunity to get to 3 games over 500 and win your 6th straight ACC game.
Look at a couple things, and they stand out to me. One is Leonard Hamilton says after the game that the defense is largely the reason we won. And if you're just watching along the way or you're following the box score and you see that Louisville's shooting 50% for the game, you're saying, well, how's that possible? It's the turnovers. And it's the live ball turnovers generated, especially in the second half. There were a lot of turnovers going both ways the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game, but they were dead ball turnovers, travels, and all that kind of stuff. But it's 32-5, the advantage, points off of turnovers. That's massive. But it had to be every bit as big as it was for us to force overtime, have a chance to win the game with just a few seconds to go as a Phil Cover missed shot at the buzzer. Phil went over from the field and we won this game too. That's something that I don't think should be lost on people is in finding different ways to win, you would think you're counting on Phil Cofer in a game of that magnitude, especially with his perimeter shot. No, you didn't have him in this game. Now, he gave you 30 good minutes, but he didn't give you anything on the score sheet, and yet you still find a way. That's the thing about this team is they are 100% a team, a sum of the parts, not individual parts.
Although, if you're going to highlight an individual each week, it's going to be Fiondu Kabengele, who continues to be an emerging superstar for this team that does, in fact, carry them for stretches at a time. You're right. Collectively is how they have to win. But when they're down and they need something, they need a basket, they need a big defensive stop, they need a guy to spark them, it is Kabengele. And he is really just a fun player to watch as he continues to be the kind of guy that I think we realize now is emerging potentially as a first-round draft pick. And let's hold our breath when the time comes and hope that he decides to come back for another year because there is room for him to grow. But, man, has he really shown signs that he could be a good player at the next level. And I'm sure he's drawing the interest at this point because he has been spectacular. It's crazy. I keep looking at these numbers from him. Kabengele is shooting 50% from beyond the arc in ACC play.
Yes, he is. That's right.
It's ridiculous.
And exactly. So, as a big, you don't think that's possible, especially in the college level. Like in the pros, you might see some bigs that, quote unquote,
most of them
are listed as a
days,
forward or something. Right. And that, like 10 years ago, you'd be going, what? They're outside of a couple of guys. Now it's routine. But if you thought you were crazy to expect a shot to go down when he lets it go from the perimeter, you're not. You're not. He's making him, you're right, at a better than 50% clip.
It's crazy.
It's a jump shot. I mean, it doesn't matter where it's from. 15 feet, 3-point range. He has all of the confidence in the world right now. And I think with that confidence, it works, hand in hand, is that he's not taking dumb fouls. He's not in foul trouble. I think you can see it on his face and in his body language on the court. When he racks up a couple of quick fouls, his game is affected because he knows now I don't have it's like batting with two strikes.
He's certainly more in control now.
He's defensive and then actually gets more fouls. And you've seen it on the road in this game. He is a lot more comfortable in his own skin in ACC play, and that's only to our benefit.
Shout out to a guy like Raekwon Gray, though, too, Tom, who continues to give you a spark off the bench and give you valuable minutes. I mean, Gray, I just got done saying the other day that he had played his best game on a night where he was quiet offensively. I think in the night that I was referencing, he had 3 points, but he played an important role in the game against Syracuse. And then now he comes in here, and they're starting – well, let's put it this way. When you go through and look at the players that Ham believes in or that he believes in big games with with a lot on the line.
Purdue, Duke, this one.
Yeah. You're seeing a whole lot less of Kumaji, a whole lot more of Kabengele. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, he's seeing what we're seeing, thankfully. Sometimes coaches around the country don't, but Leonard clearly sees.
But he also sees that Gray, of all the other guys, besides maybe Nichols, is a guy he can really trust. And so good on you, Gray. Raekwon, that's 7 points, 2 of 6, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. And I thought he had a big 3, had another one almost drop. He doesn't lack for confidence.
No, he had a couple of steals for you, too. He's aggressive. And it's just you can turn somebody loose. Like, think about it. We were just talking about Trent Forrest, right, last hour, and how he'll be a senior point guard next year. And if you let Edwards run the point, what would that do and what would that say about the program, that you're willing to trade 3 years of hard work and being really good at the position for a one-and-done player, even if he is the number 1 overall pick? But remember Trent Forrest. Trent and Terrence. In his freshman season, when he and CJ would come out there for 10, 15 minutes, you could see it. You could empty the tank. Guys, go on out there. Give it everything you've got. We don't need you for 25 or 30 minutes unless we get in some serious trouble. And Raekwon, especially on the road at Syracuse, he gave you a spark there. And he does it again in a big moment like this in Louisville. He's going to have fresh legs as you approach the stretch run of ACC play and in the tournament because you've set a defined role for him to exceed in.
Certainly hope that they're able to get some rest on Wednesday if they're to knock off a Wake Forest team that doesn't match up. Now, again, I started the show, much to Tom's chagrin, by saying while I was elated about the victory over Louisville and the manner in which it happened, I also, oddly, kind of predict a less than stellar effort coming up this Wednesday against Wake. Not a loss, but rather a game that might have you leave your starters in a little bit longer than you'd like or have to put them back in. It just feels like they're due for an emotional letdown. Now, they're talented enough and deep enough that even then they shouldn't have a problem with a Wake Forest team that is just 2-8 in conference and really continues to struggle, 9-13 overall. Not a real talented team. They are coming off a win, but they're not a great team by any stretch. But I just think that when you look at this league, you see a lot of weird things. You see Miami on the road against North Carolina pushing them to overtime. You see teams looking ahead and struggling a little bit with teams that they should dispatch. Now, one thing, it's a week, it's a week that will help us because now I'm beginning to look at what's possible. All right, so you get Wake. Let's say you take care of business. You're 7-4. Your next game is against Georgia Tech. That won't be easy on the road. I can see that being a nightmare for us with the way they play defense. And really, I wonder at what point that next stinker is due. We have won 5 straight. At what point are you going to have that game where you go, damn it, man, that reminded me of Pitt or that reminded me of BC? The league just produces that, especially if you're not Duke or North Carolina. Anyhow, that said, it gets interesting because if you do take care of business, you would go to 8-4. Well, why do I bring that up? Well, I bring that up because now when we look at the week ahead, Virginia and North Carolina play tonight. All right. One of them, North Carolina, if they lose, will have their second loss in conference. If Virginia loses, and Virginia's the road team in this game, so if you're going to give the win to the home team here, suddenly Virginia is 8-3.
Man, what are you doing?
I'm just saying. Man. I'm just saying. Louisville.
We'd have to pass them outright.
Louisville.
They beat us into the ground.
Whom you beat, Louisville.
Yes, that's true.
Is 8-3 currently. Of course, you're one game back of them, but you beat them head-to-head as well. Syracuse, Tom, is currently 8-3. Of course, you beat them head-to-head as well.
They've got a killer road ahead, too.
So let's look at this for a second. Duke and Louisville play this week, Tom. Very good chance that Louisville could find their 4th loss of the season in conference. Also, I would note that Syracuse and NC State play. That game is at NC State. I know NC State is beginning to fall off, but
this is where you empty the tank if you're the Wolfpack.
That's right. Got to play desperate. NC State at home. Get you a win over Syracuse and give them their 4th loss of the campaign. Of course, you beat them head-to-head. I guess what I'm trying to say is, obviously, it's an important week, but Florida State has the easiest road of the bunch for this week. And by the end of this week, by the time we come back here on Monday, a week from today, to talk about this conference and where we stand, this could very well be several teams tied for or within a game of each other for 3rd place, 4th place. Top 4 is possible for Florida State, and that's not an outlandish projection. But, again,
you've got to earn everything in the ACC, which is, I know that's the end of it, and that's the qualifier here. But if you could win these 2 this week and then score a victory up at the Little John, then you're in business. Looking at Louisville's remaining schedule, because all you have to do is tie them, and then you're ahead because of Saturday's result. Louisville does play Duke this week. They play Clemson, then they travel to Syracuse, then they play UVA at BC, host Notre Dame, so 2 wins there, and then they travel to Virginia for the season finale. So Louisville could suffer easily another 3 losses. And then you look at Syracuse's road ahead, and it's brutal. It's at NC State, then they play Louisville. So, again, one of the 2 teams in front of you is going to lose there. Then Syracuse plays Duke at home, travels to North Carolina, travels to Wake, get a bit of a respite, and then it's home. Virginia's coming up to the Carrier Dome, and they go play in the Little John to close out the season. Syracuse is in line for another 3 to 4 losses here before it's all over.
A lot of fun to look at. Florida State now 25th in the net rankings, 18th in the RPI, top 20 in both polls. If you're worried about those things, the have and have-nots of the ACC feature Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, Louisville, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Florida State, and Clemson. I'd probably cut it off right about there. You might want to include NC State after that. It's a bunch of teams that aren't even going to, not even going to go to the NIT. Not even a ding-ding. Not even a ding-ding.
Maybe a beep-beep.
Maybe a beep-beep. Maybe a beep-beep.
If they take the invite.
Well, The beep is all that Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Boston College, Wake Forest, Pitt, and Miami have. Beep.
I don't know that Miami's might not even get a beep.
No, I don't think Miami could qualify for the beep either. Is that right? They are, what are they, 10-13? Ooh. Yeah, you got to be at least 500 to get the beep. Don't even get the beep.
See, the net rankings love Florida. I think they're 12-11, but they're in the top 50 or 60 in the net. And Syracuse, it's always this way. I think they're closer to 50th.
They're 48th in the net right now. Well, Virginia Tech is 14th in the net. They're on a 2-game losing streak, but they're a good basketball team, though. We're 25th in the net. Like I said, Clemson, I might cut it off there at 37. But then again, NC State, the biggest differential, you remember we were trying to figure out the difference, what was going to happen with the net and the RPI and how you could equate the two, or would they be very similar in ranking systems? For the most part, this has kind of worked out. Duke is 2-2. They're 2 in the RPI, 2 in the net. North Carolina, 8 in the RPI, 9 in the net. Virginia, 6 in the RPI, 3 in the net. The disparity is very, very close. You've got Louisville, 19 in the RPI, 15 in the net. You just mentioned Syracuse, 40 and 48 in the net and RPI, respectively. 29 and 14 is the situation for Virginia Tech, 29 in the RPI, 14 in the net. We're 18th and 25th. It's not until you get down here to NC State where you go, huh? NC State is 112th in the RPI and 35th in the net. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's like Florida.
It's just crazy.
There's a few programs out there like, man, with all these losses, what's going on here? There's a Big Ten team, too. I think maybe Nebraska is way higher in the net than the record would. I mean, double-digit losses already at this point in the season. What are you doing?
Yeah, NC State, by the way, over the weekend snapped their 3-game slide by edging Pitt 79-76 at the Pete.
It was a scary game. Wonder if they were blowing the whistles left and right there, too.
Last win Pitt had against Florida State.
Yeah.
Damn it, man. But there's no reason to be that kind of angst-ridden, Jeff. We're rolling on Big River. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have.
Got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
If you're a Seminole, we're your store. Shop local and go Noles.
This is Chris Kraft with news that is sure to change the car buying landscape in North Florida. Our brother Peter and I are now the proud new owners of the Infiniti dealership in Tallahassee, the all-new Kraft Infiniti. As Mercedes-Benz dealers for over 25 years early in our careers, we know how to sell and service Highline vehicles the right way. At Kraft Infiniti, our mission statement is simple: to provide our customers with a car buying experience that is unsurpassed in value, consideration for your time, and pure enjoyment. Finally, the Highline experience you deserve, and it's from the Kraft brothers. Infiniti is much more than a brand name. It's a lifestyle and it's a statement. And at Kraft Infiniti, Peter and I will go beyond your expectations in providing the best sales and service experience in Tallahassee. So come see us at the all-new Kraft Infiniti, beyond your expectations, and brought to you by the Kraft brothers. Kraft Infiniti, 3355 Capitol Circle Northeast, conveniently located between Home Depot and the I-10 flyover. Call 297-1488 or visit us on the web at craftinfinity.com.
Honda is kicking off its campaign for great deals at the Honda President's Day sales event. Right now, you can enjoy a monumental offer on any of the 3 candidates, the Accord, Pilot, and Civic sedan. Each stylish vehicle will support your peace of mind with standard Honda sensing, a suite of safety and driver assistive technologies like road departure mitigation system and the collision mitigation braking system. And Honda has been appointed KBB.com's 2018 Best Overall Value brand. So hurry to your local Honda dealer and cast your vote for great deals.
At Township in Collegetown, for the table, by the people is not just lip service, it's their mantra. Tallahassee's largest beer hall offers drafts served in steins and a unique twist on upscale pub fare. Just walk up and order for the table and grab a seat by the people. Some you may not even know. If you're looking for a more intimate gathering, Township offers The Garden, a unique setting to Tallahassee complete with outdoor fireplace and a retractable awning. Oh, and let's not forget the 32 taps and private bar. Book it for your next party or company event. Township Tallahassee, 619 Woodward Avenue in Collegetown.
Okay, that ought to do it. Thanks, Jessica, for coming over and helping me declutter my home.
You're welcome. That's what friends are for. Ooh, check it out. I found some loose change in this corner.
That is the second time you have found some hidden treasures in my house.
Do you know you can find savings in every corner of your home?
Okay, I'm listening.
You can find savings from the city of Tallahassee. With their 5% interest financing for more than 25 energy-efficient appliances, measures, and systems, you can get a loan for things like outdoor lighting, floor, ceiling, and wall insulation, Energy Star reflective roofing, and even things like gas ranges, fire logs, and grills.
Wait, even on grills? I've been shopping around for a new gas grill. I had no idea, and with it getting even darker, I could use some outdoor lighting. It seems the City of Tallahassee's loan program may be the perfect solution.
Well, just be sure and invite me over the next time you grill.
Of course, that's what friends are for.
Take advantage of the City of Tallahassee's loan program and save energy, water, and money. Visit talgov.com to learn more. That's talgov.com for more information.
Live life. Head on. Take every shot. And when it comes to tax season, go for the win with Liberty Tax. Because while you do life, we do taxes. Bounce into a Liberty Tax by February 16th and we'll give you $50 cash for filing with us. Send in a friend, and when they complete their return, we'll give you another $50. Stop by today or visit LibertyTax.com. Liberty Tax. You do life, we do taxes.
Located at 2210 North Monroe Street next to Chick-fil-A. Call 597-8248.
At Township in Collegetown, for the table, by the people is not just lip service, it's their mantra. Tallahassee's largest beer hall offers drafts served in steins and a unique twist on upscale pub fare. Just walk up and order for the table and grab a seat by the people. Some you may not even know. If you're looking for a more intimate gathering, Township offers The Garden, a unique setting to Tallahassee complete with outdoor fireplace and a retractable awning. Oh, and let's not forget the 32 taps and private bar. Book it for your next party or company event. Township Tallahassee, 619 Woodward Avenue in Collegetown.
Ready to rule the open road? Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevy has what you need. Get huge savings on the 2018 Silverado 1500 during the Silverado Sell Down Sales Event. Shop our huge selection today.
Find new roads at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet and at DaleJr.Chevy.com.
Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com today.
Reminder of the 4-pack special still going on with my friends at MyPillow, MyPillow.com. Use the promo code 979ESPN. 979ESPN promo code. You get the 4-pack special, MyPillow.com. 2 MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere Pillows. Free shipping, money-back guarantee all the way through the end of March. Might note that not only that, but you can wash them, you can dry them, you'll fall asleep faster. They don't lose their shape, snore less, sleep better. It's an easy sell. MyPillow.com, promo code 979ESPN to get the 4-pack special, which is, again, 2 MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere Pillows. Yay, Florida State, back to basketball momentarily. First, though, in the NFL, the Browns have signed Kareem Hunt, doing so today. This one always seemed kind of easy. I guess there's a caveat to this story, but I have seen the video, so it's even easier. Kareem Hunt never faced charges for his incident, but we all saw the incident.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I would say about that. I get it. I'm the one who on this show over the years has dubbed the NFL, quite obviously, a league of mercenaries. Tom and I have had debates about what you would or would not do as a GM if you worked in said league.
Oddly, I'm the more sinister one in that particular example.
That's right. You turn your back on humanity in that role.
If I'm an NFL GM and I've gotten to that place from being a scout and stuff, then yeah, I mean, that's just, my soul has already been sold off.
Maybe. I think you could be a upstanding human being and still be an NFL scout. I mean, I think you could say this is a real good player who beats women. You guys decide.
Could you be a senator without being a good guy? I think it's kind of the same thing with an NFL GM. You have to trade something big along the way.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of a front office. It seems to me where you can draw the line on all of this is pretty simple. I'm not going to sign a guy that punches and kicks or hurts women, and I have proof of it. Just as I'm not going to sign a guy.
But Adrian Peterson, come on down.
But that's what I mean. I'm not going to sign a guy that tortures dogs, beats children, slaps women, kicks, and I'm not going to do it. And I think there are enough really good guys who are also really good football players that you could adhere to that code and still field a good football team. Now, I'm not naive. I know how it goes down. I know what happens, and I know Cleveland is desperate to win, and they've decided that they're desperate enough to win to sign Kareem Hunt. It's one thing when you read a story and there's an accusation, but there's no proof. It's just a he said, she said, or a he said, or whatever it might be, right? Hey, this guy slapped me in a bar. There's no video evidence. Nobody's charged with a crime. Witnesses give differing stories. All right. I don't know what to believe there, but short of a charge in this case, I'm going to go ahead and sign this guy. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that in stories that are even scarier, because I do believe in the law, in the rule of law, and I do believe people are innocent until proven guilty. But what I would tell you is this: if I've got video evidence of the player in question that I want to sign because he's a real good football player, and in that video I see him throw a woman to the ground and then kick her, well, I'm not signing him. And I'm not sitting up here stumping as a moralist. That's just pretty simple. That's just an easy, I would think, standard for your organization, for any organization, no matter what it is.
Well, I think the hard part is it's the law of averages, and usually if you arrive at the GM's position, you're not succeeding somebody who's just retired and they're tired of winning Super Bowls. You know, you've got to build and make tough choices. Same thing in college football. I mean, law of averages, if you have 85 over years and years, you're going to run into something. And
yeah, the other side of this is,
if he's Tyreek Hill, what do you do?
Right. The other side of this is the person who is convicted of a crime and or guilty without having been convicted of a crime. Do they ever have a right to work again? Of course they do. And somebody's going to sign them. Somebody's going to say, well, they paid their pittance, whatever it is, and I'm going to sign them. And that's for the, that's for the organization to discuss behind closed doors and whatever your rules are. I'm just telling you, I don't think, and I don't think you would either, I don't think that you would be the kind of guy or that you would own a franchise and dictate to your – it's not that hard. It's just not that hard. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt if there are no charges, no evidence of any kind that suggests you did or didn't do it. If it's just, again, he said, she said, and we don't have any evidence either way, and I don't know, and it's 50-50. Good football player, you're right. I'm in it to win it. I don't know if he did anything or didn't do anything. I'm going to do my due diligence, but if I don't know at the end of the day, yeah, I'll probably sign him. It comes down to it. But I'm telling you, when I got video evidence, we're done here. We're done. It's just that simple. It's straightforward. I'm kind of surprised it took so little time for Cleveland to go, we're in. We don't give a damn.
I don't know. They sold out for Callaway.
Yeah.
I mean, Callaway's history, it doesn't exactly look good either. What happened in Florida. And he wasn't all that great in camp, as you saw on Hard Knocks, and still made the roster.
Callaway's biggest problem he had, at least that was provable.
Following rules in camp, I mean. So he didn't even follow rules when he got to the Browns.
I was going to say, Jesus. Callaway's biggest problem that he had, at least which was provable, again, was he was really a big fan of weed, which I don't care about unless I'm going to lose a draft pick over it.
Right.
And also then he didn't follow the rules of the organization.
Well,
that is a problem. That's post-draft.
But when you have a Title IX issue in college and it, doesn't read well, and
right, no,
moreover,
if we have
the
a
university
series of
hires
things,
they hire a lawyer.
I know we're going to go ahead and do that again. I get that the two universities handled it very differently. But what I'm saying
cannot be stated enough.
I don't disagree. What I'm saying, however, is that what we know he did is the kind of thing I could ignore. Weed?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I don't care.
Come on down, Bob Marley. Let's go.
Run, baby.
Run a 4-3.
Let's go. Make a play. Kareem Hunt, on the other hand, come on, man. We just saw the damn video. What are you doing, Cleveland? Ugh. I'm just glad the Bucs didn't sign him. Then again,
that was out there. There was chatter.
We're always confronted by these things, though. I
it's
think
like
about this
at
all
what
the
point,
time,
a week later, you're like, well, we'll be pretty good on offense this year.
He's really good.
Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3?
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's all this.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
So remember, credit score under 600? Come on in. Recent bankruptcy? Come on in. Recently divorced? Come on in. Think you have a financial problem we've never heard of? Come on in to Kraft Nissan and come see the one dealer in Tallahassee that can really help you out. Come see the cars that everyone wants at the hottest dealer in town, Kraft Nissan. And remember, you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco, or visit us on the web at craftnissan.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the law office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Are you looking for the finest quality of hand-selected craft beers? Trying to find the beer that no one else in town carries? Try Quick and Save at 416 East Tennessee Street in Tallahassee. Aaron is the man when it comes to being up-to-date on all the new styles and trends in craft beer. And honestly, Aaron could talk to you for hours about what people like in craft beer. Give Quick and Save a try next time you want something to please your palate. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up-to-date on new releases and upcoming events. Quick and Save at 416 East Tennessee Street.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left!
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. February 11th, 1990. 42-1 underdog James Buster Douglas shocked the world when he beat Mike Tyson at the Tokyo Dome to win the undisputed heavyweight boxing championship. The fight was supposed to be a tune-up for Tyson before fighting Evander Holyfield, but he was knocked out in the 10th round in what many consider the greatest upset of all time.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi with breaking news. The Browns have signed running back Kareem Hunt to a one-year deal, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Hunt was released by the Chiefs in December after a video surfaced showing him shoving and kicking a woman last February. He was not arrested or charged. He's also accused of punching a man last June. ESPN's Dan Graziano reports the discipline process still ongoing regarding Hunt and nowhere near done. He'll be put back on the commissioner's exempt list until the league makes a final decision on discipline. This is an unbelievable second chance for Hunt in Cleveland, in the opinion of ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
He will now play in the NFL 21 minutes away from where he played in high school. He will do so. His rookie contract is not even up yet. He will eventually hit that open market in 2022. He has the chance to now be in his hometown, playing for his hometown team, and eventually getting the payday that he had always dreamt of.
There is a connection between Hunt and Browns GM John Dorsey. Dorsey was with the Chiefs when they drafted him 2 years ago. For Kyler Murray, it's hello football, goodbye baseball. The Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and 2018 first-round pick of the Oakland A's announced on Twitter he's fully committing his life and time to becoming an NFL quarterback. In his latest mock draft, ESPN's Todd McShay has Murray going to the Dolphins 13th overall. NBA scoring leader James Harden tries to run his 30-point streak to 30 straight games when the Rockets welcome Rookie of the Year frontrunner Luka Doncic and the Mavericks tonight. Things do not get any easier for Virginia. 2 days after a loss to number 2 Duke, the fourth-ranked Cavaliers are at number 8 North Carolina, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. The Tar Heels have won 7 straight. They're tied with the Blue Devils for the lead in the ACC. Virginia's third, 1 game back.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man Cave Monday, brought to you by Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Right on the corner and always right on the price. Check out the latest 2019 inventory at TallahasseeDCJ.com.
We were sitting in the same glorious suite for the basketball game, but I didn't ask you. At 52-42 with 10 minutes to play in the game, did you think the run, the last comeback was in us?
No, I did not. That was the third of McMahon's 3 straight three-pointers. Right?
Bombs away,
Yeah.
just time and again.
Well, I mean,
bottoms.
You just do the projection game. You're like, well, how many points do you need to score before we get to the end of regulation or at the end of the game? We didn't think we were going overtime. And that's a lot of points you got to cover in that moment.
Man's three-pointer, though, suddenly breathed the life into that possibility. And I remember thinking then, I believe that was 52-47.
The one where he's taking forever?
It's a glorious moment.
It up on the picture.
Well, it's just funny because you can look at that one of two ways before it goes in, which is, what are you doing, man? But then when it's nothing but drawers, you're like, all right, well, you're doing the right thing is what you're doing. But normally when you sit and hold a ball that long, you begin to think a little bit too much about it. It becomes too mechanical. But
there were a few huge plays in that game that stand out, and the man three is one of them. Obviously, the inbound is the biggest play from MJ Walker because of the way the building comes unhinged at that point, and you could almost feel how the adrenaline was going to take us home.
Well, the Walker steal at 65-63.
Yeah, it's off the inbound.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
But then also I think the technical foul in that moment, they were starting to pull away a little bit again, just to neutralize the momentum for a little bit, because Louisville had a few chances to go run away and hide, and I think that that prevented one of those circumstances.
I was watching when that happened, too. I was looking right at the player assess the technical, and it was interesting because I wondered, and there could have been another technical later, I wondered if they were going to blow the whistle. A lot of times when you get two really good basketball teams going at each other and you've got a big like Kabengele who is a physical presence and he's making some baskets and intimidating some and not doing anything wrong, but just sort of they're both asserting themselves in the situation. Well, you know the frustration is building up because they didn't have a lot of answers for his strength and his moves in the lane and his ability to finish. And when they finally had a chance to kind of retort, you saw a couple different players do it. And in that moment when the tee was assessed, I was pretty proud of the officials. I don't always get to say that. I know most of the time I feel like they're overextending. But in that situation, you have a guy look at a guy, say more than one word, and continue to stare. That's when you're supposed to, run a guy at that point because you are trying to prevent a problem down the line.
Yeah, you're figuring there's maybe 3 or 4 key words in that moment. And one of them was said because just the way, Mac didn't even fight it that much.
He knew. Well, he was looking right at it.
Yeah.
So it was funny. I don't. Sometimes you're just staring at certain aspects of a game or you're looking at a certain spot on the floor and you just happen to be lucky enough to. I watched that all play out in real time right then. I went, oh, is he going? Yep. And then I looked at Mac and he was just like.
Mac just kind of walked over and quietly wanted an explanation.
He wanted to know what the words were.
Yeah.
And I think he knew. And he saw the action, so I think he knew the action wasn't good, so he didn't flip out. And then once he heard the words.
And that's the thing. Okay, so you asked me about whatever the score, 51-41, and then they're up a few baskets with.
It's 52-42, Tom.
52-42. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
It was a
I'm
10
not
point
precise
margin.
like Terrence Mann was all week long for the Noles on the road at Syracuse and at home against Louisville. They're up a few buckets late too, and Mac even said it in his post game. He looked.
They were exhausted.
He wasn't as sweaty as Thad Matta, but he looked just as beleaguered as Thad was all those years ago for the ACC Big Ten Challenge. You got to be thinking to yourself when you get on the plane, like, how did we lose that game?
Well, when you see all the extra possessions, you probably go, well, now damn it.
But when you're in the building and you're just feeling the flow of everything and how they were setting the pace for so much of it, if I'm a Louisville fan, I just go, oh, my God.
Well, let's go through that real quick. You're mad because when you look at the sheet, what you see is Florida State shoots 37%. 7 of 23 from beyond the arc. It's again, you're seeing a conversion of 27 of 36 free throws, which is absolutely huge, 75%.
What's the disparity between Florida State and Louisville, too? We took a ton more than they did.
Yes, we did. And we also made 11 of 12 free throws in overtime. So for every person that loves to scream out seemingly in unison, make your free throws, which is really ridiculous and gets old, we made 11 of 12 in overtime. Nearly perfect when you had to make them.
If you made the other one, Terrence Mann.
We forced 23 Louisville turnovers, 11 of which, as you noted earlier, were steals. And we only had 8 turnovers ourselves.
Yep.
And I talked about the fact that Forrest is turning it over far less in his role as a distributor. And that leads to a stat that we could just repeat over and over and over again because it brings a smile to your face. Florida State had a 32-5 domination in points off of turnovers. 32-5 is unheard of. That's a really good basketball team Florida State beat. And that advantage is where Mac is looking at the scorebook, looking at the sheet and saying, well, Jeez, 32-5.
It had me there. I said, where's he going? No, he's not doing that.
I went with Shees. But, it's a good thing because the Cards did a lot of things well. They were 25 of 52. That's just under 50%. They were 12 of 28 from 3. That's almost 43%. Again, we're not shooting all that well at home.
Yeah.
Continue to shoot poorly at home.
I'm stunned you haven't bragged yet about the fact that you called it would be one possession game as time expired.
Well, I do a lot of things right with this team, Tom. I predict a lot of things correctly. If I would just bog down the show with all the times that I correctly point out something with this basketball team before the game starts, and then have it come to be in the actual game. Don't know why that is, but we don't want to mess up a good thing, so let's just keep moving along. I did look back at you in the suite and note the...
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't didn't really.
What? You're not going to stunt? I'm not going to call a T on you, you know?
I know. I'm just saying I did. Yeah, that's why the court report's so important to listen to.
That's right. The court report, fantastic program.
I mean, if you went back and you listened to the court report,
so many sponsors too,
or you heard it before the game, then you said, "My God, Jeff and Tom nailed this." In particularly Jeff, it is unbelievable.
I can totally see why Jerry's Cigar Shop or Pockets Pool and Pub wants to jump on board with this program.
And I should, too, as a business owner. My God, these guys are nailing it.
Did Tom set the over-under for three-pointers at 11.5 for Louisville?
That is an aspect that he got right. That's well done. Well, Cabangeli has 22, 7 of 12 from the field, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 7 boards, block shot, 2 steals. Terrence Mann, 20 points. Career high, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, 9 of 11 on the free throw line, 4 boards, team high 40 minutes played there. Trent Forrest, 15 points on 5 of 14, 5 of 7 from the line, 6 boards, 4 assists, 5 big steals. Man, does he have quick hands. MJ Walker playing great defense, also scored 11 points there. Phil Kofer, you could say, certainly had his worst game of the season. He was 0 for the world, but he did, I think anytime he plays, he A, gives you an emotional lift, and B, he can defend all 5 positions. So he's providing a presence. He did not rebound. He did not shoot. If you look at his minutes, you'd say he didn't play well, but I don't think he played terribly. There are moments where you watch a guy on the floor and you're saying, well, the plus-minus is ugly today, and it looks like it. For example, anytime I see P.J. Savoy on the floor. But by and large, I don't think Phil in 30 minutes was that terrible. He just didn't make any shots.
That's TLC, Tough Love Cameron for you right there on the way out.
I gave a little TLC earlier in the show, and I don't want to double down to a great extent here, but P.J. Savoy, my man.
Oh, boy.
What the hell are we doing around these parts? A whole lot of nothing.
Did you think Kofer made it when he let it go?
Yeah, I thought
it
sure.
Looked good from
it
our
looked
view.
good. It looked real good. He rose up.
We were baseline band side. That's where the vista's from.
As soon as it left his hand, I had hands up ready to roll.
That play, you would have sprinted out, just sprinted to the deck. We're going to the deck. Come on, boys.
Follow me to freedom.
You got Bryson Clark on each arm.
Come on, boys. We're going to the deck.
Hold you up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, man. No, I did think it was good when it left his hand, but at the same time, I was true story. I was actually contemplating how good our defense was for that last possession.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Man, that was a terrible shot for Louisville.
Well, but they had made quite a few terrible shots earlier.
Our defense in the overtime was just outside of when it got frantic and they were left open on the baseline for a 3. That happened twice. One up top.
They also made a couple of threes with 2 or 1 second left on the shot clock.
The first half, they hit 2 or 3 with the guy in their face and they're 10 feet behind the arm. I'm like, well, you're going to hit that? Damn, man.
It's that kind of party.
Yeah, it's just off the cap. That's what we're going to do here.
But yeah, I was looking at the replay, and Forrest is open, but I don't know that there's enough time if Phil got the ball to Trent for him to get to the basket, get rid of it.
No, I don't think there is.
I think that's a tight. I think he made the right call to shoot the basketball there.
He did, and it's in rhythm. He
He
just misses the shot. I mean, if it had been Forrest where you're like falling out of bounds or something, what are you doing? But no, it's in rhythm. He sized it up, squared up. No dice. Come back, wrap it up momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
All must go. Buy one for as low as $29,900 or save up to $5,600 on in-stock vehicles. The all-new 2019 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend Truck of the Year, and it's breaking all kinds of records. We have over 80 Ram 1500s in stock with up to $11,000 off MSRP. You can't go wrong. Motor Trend Truck of the Year and up to $11,000 off MSRP. It's the deal of the year. There's only one place to go. Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat on the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Or visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Dealer retains all rebates and incentives plus tax, tag, and dealer fee.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Golick and Wingo.
You're telling me that a guy whom I love as a player in Julian Edelman and has a Super Bowl MVP is playing his way into the Hall of Fame? Yeah, I don't think so.
We're going to sit here and make it sound like, we're ripping Julian Edelman right now.
Any way, shape, or form.
This is the position we kind of got put in because of that tweet. There's no way he's getting into the Hall of Fame.
No.
The better talk is, and I heard you talking about, is Gronkowski going to go down as the greatest tight end of all time? He's going in the Hall of Fame. I didn't expect this one. I was stunned to read this. I mean, did anybody here look at that and say he has a shot?
No. I mean, to me, he's a Hall of Gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the ultimate.
He's a Hall of postseasoner.
Yes. This is Eli Manning syndrome. 2 great postseason runs, and obviously that is the foundation for the Eli Manning Hall of Fame case that we always make when we have that debate with him. And I feel like that's the case for Julian Edelman here on a much lesser scale, too.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
After 40 years as Florida State Baseball's head coach, Mike Martin Sr. is making this his final season. Join all of us here at Garnet and Gold as we celebrate the farewell tour for the winningest coach in college baseball history with limited edition commemorative baseballs, t-shirts, and caps in stock right now. And while you're here, check out Nike's hot new line of FSU baseball jerseys, tees, and ball caps. Garnet and Gold with 3 locations, West Pensacola Street, Collard, and Governor Square Boulevard. If you're a Seminole, we're your store. Shop local and go Noles.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Soon, buddy, this stage of the show, this time of the show, is going to be replaced with the summer wins,
the
as
peachy?
well as the pitching, the probables, all of the goodness. It starts. Now, we don't do spring training probables.
No.
But pitchers and catchers report, and FSU baseball starts this Friday.
With that 1-hour special.
Good times. Welcome back, Florida State baseball. Welcome back, Major League Baseball. Welcome back, baseball. Good job, Daniel. Good job, Tom. Thanks to all of you for listening. We got nothing for you next. Fitz in Spain, holding it down. By nothing, I mean Fitz in Spain. That's on.
Fitz is driving Golick and Wingo these days.
Oh, I don't know. Who's filling in
He's
for
doing
Fitz?
okay.
Better than Wingo, huh?
I might, I don't know.
Prefer it?
Make a little switcheroo.
Anyhow, something's up next. Not live sports, but we'll get you some live sports later in the week. We got you covered. It's not anybody's fault. That's just the way it works. Be well, everybody. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.